Okay. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Board of Assessors tonight, January 22nd, 2025, in the upper level of the Ritter Building. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live. Okay, it's being recorded and it is being broadcast over Zoom live, but will not be broadcast live over the public access channel until, well, ever. It's https://www.facebook.com/lunenburg-public-access-cable-157-427-270-975-305/. The recording can be found at the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting, probably tomorrow, right, Matt? The meeting will be held in person at this location I just mentioned. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended nor terminated if the technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in any specific item should make plans for an in-person versus virtual attendance. From a computer, the Zoom meeting link is https://us0.2web.zoom.us/j/811-520-02194. As I mentioned, the meeting ID is 811-520-02194. From a telephone, you may dial 888-475-4499 and enter that same ID, 811-5200-2194 #. You don't need to register for Zoom. Just ask. You'll be asked for your name and email. No ID is required. Just press the # when asked. Telephone users may use the *9 to request to speak. Computer and app users may just use the raise hand feature. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. I'll call us to order, and since we are all in attendance, you can just throw your names out.
John Rabbit here.
Sarah Cammer.
Brian LaFond.
Linda McQuaid.
Thank you very much. And we do have at least 1 or 2 visitors on the Zoom, so thank you. Are there any comments from the board, opening comments from the board? Hearing none, I'm going to ask if there are any comments from the public. We have 2 people in the public. Anybody interested in speaking? Seeing no raised hand feature? No? Okay. We're going to move on to the status report from the principal assessor.
Okay. I have my monthly report. Twinkies.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. It's been a very busy month. We had 6 abutters list requests. In addition to processing 109 real estate exemptions during our actual billing, we have received an additional 6 that have come into the office since the first of the year. I actually worked with Randy Mercier on Friday. He's actually the consultant that was hired to help us with the actual billing. And we discovered that there was a bridging issue with the personal property file when it came over. So I was able to contact RRC, which is our personal property company, and they had given me we got a new file and the layout of the file so that he can work on a bridge. So hopefully that will solve our issue for the next billing cycle. In addition, we've received 16. Oh, sorry.
I just want to say thank you for working Friday.
Oh,
It's
you're
not your
welcome.
day,
You're
and
welcome.
That's again
Yeah.
above and beyond.
No,
Thank you.
no. That was the only time that he had available. I was fortunate that I got a VPN, so at least I could work with him.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and I'm supposed to be getting a laptop, which will be good.
We-
'Cause at
We've
least
been
that
holding
way-
our breath on that one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet, but at least the VPN allowed me to work with him. And then we had another,
Hello.
Is this the meeting?
Assessors meeting?
Assessors
Looking for the assessors meeting?
Yes.
yeah.
Feel free to
yes,
come in.
Yeah. I see.
Your chair?
In addition, I work with him on another billing issue, but he is a great asset, and we're very fortunate to have him to assist us.
Yep. Can I interrupt?
Yeah, go ahead.
You weren't here when we asked for public comment opening. If you wanted to make some public comment, feel free to come on up and tell us what you wanted to say. Otherwise, have fun watching.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'm here for the abutters meeting.
Oh, that's not this one. Who's holding that?
A zoning board of appeals? Or,
You can check downstairs. I'm not sure who's who's in that meeting. And there's another meeting at the,
They told me it wasn't at the town hall.
okay, then it's probably downstairs.
yeah.
This
Downstairs.
is the
an
assessors.
meeting.
And you're looking for probably a zoning board of appeals or something,
Well,
or
yeah,
planning? or-
The Conservation Commission.
Oh,
Oh.
yes. I'm pretty sure that's
They're
where they are,
downstairs, I
so
think.
Okay.
best of
Thank
luck and
you.
sorry.
Well,
That's okay.
It's nice to meet
Yeah, it was
you.
nice to
We
meet
needed
you.
the distraction. Okay, sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure she
Yeah.
didn't sit there for 3 hours. and-
No, it's a good thing you did.
Good thing you did.
She-
job,
It is confusing on where to go for different meetings.
Yes.
So, we have received 16 real estate and personal property abatements. The deadline is February 3rd.
So we're coming up on the last week, which we
We-
should get another
Yeah.
slug of them, but
We probably
16
will.
is,
Yeah. We had 42 last year,
Yeah.
so,
we approved 42,
or approved
right?
42,
I don't know how many we had that were,
Mm.
we had a few that were denied.
yeah.
I
But,
think it's
So-
like 47.
I thought it was, but
yeah.
That's
So
the
this-
number in my head, but.
is running slightly less than that maybe. We'll see next week.
We'll see,
It's
we'll see
not
next
February
week.
3rd yet.
It's not February
No,
3rd.
no, it's not.
And the abatements do go for, one, if the exemptions, also go a lot, another,
April 1st.
yeah, April.
Yeah.
For the
So-
exemptions, so we'll still
Yeah,
have
yeah.
exemptions.
So we're talking about the abatements right now.
This will be
that-
the first normal year we've had together.
Good.
Yeah,
If you
That
call
is-
that
that is
normal.
true.
Well, last year we were dealing with abatements
Uh,
in
later.
July because
we had the late,
the late
Yeah.
Billing.
tax bills and all those issues, so.
And the bills went out on time, and we did have a few glitches.
Okay.
We weren't the only town, it was Munis that caused that, but there were other towns that had the same issues we had, so we were not alone, but we did get the bills out on time, which was great, so.
Thank you for all the work you did on that.
Well, I was lucky we had, Izzy and I worked with Randy Mercier, and
Mercier.
he really was a great asset to us. He made it all
Good.
possible.
so
Good.
we have 16 abatement requests so far.
We do.
Applications.
We do. In addition, we have processed 16 motor vehicle excise tax abatements, and we are up to date with processing. We process them every week now, and they are just awaiting payment by the tax collector. So
Okay.
3 months ago, we were
Behind.
behind, so we're at least up to date.
Significantly behind.
Yep. Our data collector continues to follow up on building permits. She's also assisting me with abatement inspections as well. So Denise is handling that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are you finding that, with the staff in office, you're able to keep up with the new building permits?
We are able to keep up with that. We have some other things that I'll get into a little
Oh.
further, that are kind of causing some issues in our office.
Okay.
So mostly deeds seems to be a big thing. Our property,
So just,
yeah.
we are actually starting to reach back in time on permits.
We
So-
are
I see.
up to date with permits. When they come in, they're being entered. We are up to date with entering deeds as well, so that's one good thing.
And-
You're
you
just
got-
researching historic errors at this point, or?
We're finding some deeds that weren't entered in 2021.
Yeah, okay.
The biggest challenge we're having with deeds is that There are multiple properties on one deed. It took me 5 hours to
Yeah.
research one deed from 2021 where properties were put on, 3 properties were put on one deed. Other properties were sold off. And it's getting to a point, I've noticed this over the past couple months, where I'm spending a lot of time. Denise isn't able to figure out what to do with the deeds. And it's getting to the point where we're not engineers, the lawyers are not making it clear. I had one deed, I actually brought a sample just so that I could show you.
Just excuse me.
Yeah.
That says people are in the waiting room. Does that mean they're not actually online? Do we have
Yes.
They should,
You let them in, you gotta admit them.
okay, are they in?
It looks like they're not.
Um,
Admit all. In the top corner there, right there, yeah.
Okay,
okay,
here we go, okay.
okay.
We all set with that?
I think so. We just discovered that we had not hit the admit all button, so apologize to anybody who was watching us and not watching us.
Should we ask if there's any public
We will
comment?
have to periodically check because people can join at
I know.
any time. Yeah.
Which I think I did badly last time.
Do you want to ask if there's any public comment because they weren't
We
connected?
can we can interrupt,
Right.
yeah, if you don't mind.
No,
I'm sorry that we didn't have the Zoom straightened out here. If there's anybody who wants to make some public comment during public comment period, feel free, just put your hand up if you can. And I don't see anybody, so okay, we're gonna move on.
okay.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. So.
Oh, so as I was
I see,
saying,
so we
so,
jumped to
so
the-
we went back, the data collector has actually had the opportunity to go back to 2023 permits, and into 2022 permits, and I believe that she's wrapped them all up, or.
Oh,
So-
that's
Yeah.
outstanding.
This,
It
this
is.
is a huge catch-up of
Yes.
stuff that had been sitting there and not being
Yeah.
addressed. So, we're virtually current.
We are. Yep.
So and that's, I would applaud the entire office for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So we are finding, like, this in particular was a 2021 deed that was missed. The homeowner actually called, wanted the changes made to it, but the problem with this is, this wasn't clear, and I don't know what happened in 2021, but the deed is very confusing. I contacted her today after going.
Her, the homeowner?
Her, the homeowner. And I had a few questions, and she had said, well, it's really your office to figure this out. And I said, I've spent 5 hours. I would really like you to go back to your attorney and provide us with a deed that we can understand, because we're not gonna go into records. We're responsible for the records that affect the tax bills. And in one particular property, it was going to tax title because it wasn't in the right name. So that's kind of a concern that I have. I think we need to come up with a policy where if we cannot understand a deed, we need to send a letter to the homeowner and ask the homeowner to reach out to the attorney.
Who prepared it?
Who prepared it. I did also check with 2 attorneys, 2 real estate attorneys over the weekend, who even suggested maybe we contact the Bar Association, and that it is a.
I mean, they're
they're
getting
getting paid.
paid to
Yeah.
do this properly. Yeah.
And the homeowner it costs $155 to record
Yep.
a new deed and about $150 to draw one up.
Yeah.
That really, the deed should be clear, because if you can't understand the deed, it's being filed with the registry, we get it. In this one particular deed, it refers to parcel 1 and 2. There's no reference as to what that is. On this one particular deed, there's 3 different addresses, they're not even contiguous. I just am
I hear that
concerned.
part, and I also wonder what in the world the registry is doing when they receive these deeds.
I've suggested to Linda that we need to reach out to the Registry of Deeds and
And, I
the
mean, they're
registrar.
getting, yeah.
Yeah,
and say, what is your policy on multiple properties, multiple parcels on a single deed? especially if they are not contiguous.
I mean, is
It
this,
makes no sense
Were they
whatsoever.
just-
Somebody's trying to save them.
yeah, were they filing them online in 2021 or something? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if some of this is related.
Well, this other real estate
COVID.
attorney that
Yeah.
I spoke with said that some of the attorneys are getting lazy.
Mm.
The homeowner doesn't want to spend the extra money to file a separate deed per parcel. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with your property,
Yeah,
the title of it, and we get the deed. We have to update our canvas system, which affects the bill. And if that's not correct, we don't want to be held accountable.
yeah,
And I shouldn't have to spend 5 hours to interpret something, and
that's supposed to
still,
be clear.
Yeah.
it just should be
Yeah.
clear. And when I spoke with this woman, I was trying to go through each deed, and one of the properties I told her that I corrected, she said, "Oh, no, that should be in this other person's name." I said, "You know what, you really need to, I really
Contact
need
the
all the
attorney.
documentation, because it's almost impossible to interpret it." So she's gonna go back to the attorney. Hopefully he can provide us with a deed. So I've just been, when Denise gives them to me, I had a stack of 6 deeds this morning that she couldn't figure out what to do. So we just really need help.
And she's pretty knowledgeable.
She's
Yeah.
very knowledgeable.
So-
Yeah, so that's kind of a concern. I did also contact Becky Boucher, who's our Bureau of Local Accounts, just to inquire to see if we have the authority to send this to the homeowner and request that. And she said, of course you do, because you're,
But is this something that our town council can contact the other attorney? Well, I guess
yeah.
it'd be better for the homeowners to do it because it's their property.
Yeah. So
Makes
we're
sense.
gonna make up a letter. I'll let you review it.
Jack, it looked like you had a question
Oh, I
earlier.
did a question. I've done some transactions and going through the registry of deeds. It's pretty straightforward. What's the address you want? Okay, we'll scan it. Here's your certificate. Pay your money. And I don't think it goes much beyond that. Maybe it's my unique case, but they're more concerned about keeping the archives together, keeping the documents, but nothing technically inside that document. And I
They just
know that.
physically collect it and
Yeah,
store
and
it.
it's all centered around one address. If someone were to come back and put 3 or 4 deeds under one, you'll never find them. And that's why I don't understand how that could happen, but more often than not, they just respond to the address at the top of the page. And
This is pretty egregious.
It is.
yeah, and it gets interesting because
That's a lot of money.
yeah,
If
yeah,
somebody's home.
it is.
Yeah.
To register, $150 or so, and then you do pay the attorney. And the thing of it is, though, a lot of times, if you have I bought a right of use, and that didn't end up being on my neighbor's deed. It was on mine. And I went over and made copies and said, "Here it is. You're formally notified." But yeah, I can see how if you put more than one address, you're screwing it up all over the place.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
especially if there's transfers and there's not if a property's split up,
Oh yeah.
the one
it's
that's,
worse.
the portion that's split up sells, the other one's never updated.
Yeah.
This is almost like a map, in a sense. It's following a
Yeah.
map, the map of each property, the transfer. Sometimes they make changes to the plans, and the plan can be a legal document, but, and we're also finding that the plans aren't consistent with the deeds too. That's another issue, but we're gonna put something together, and I'm gonna do some further research. I will contact the registry of deeds. I think the issue is that you just have a clerk. There's no one checking these deeds.
Right.
I'm just surprised that people aren't a little more concerned, because I know my house, if it's my largest asset, if
Yeah.
would want to make sure that
I-
before I sell it, that there's no title issue or.
I'm not sure first-time home buyers have any idea
What it looks like.
what
Yeah.
it's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
It
And-
appears that someone's not on. Courtney's not on. She just sent a message. It says she's not on, and that doesn't look like she's on here.
oh, she's right
So
there.
admit all again. I know, but it doesn't show.
Sometimes people get bounced and come back if they have an internet connection, so
Oh,
we have to
okay.
just keep looking.
Uh,
That's the problem with
Multiple active
in-person
speakers
and
at the
remote
same time.
No,
simultaneously.
no,
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna ask us to try to figure out where the
Okay.
camera's gonna point.
So we, We have 5 participants.
We ought to thank you, so maybe we're on, maybe it worked.
Hopefully. And lastly, on a brighter note, our property record cards were updated online. To avoid any confusion, there was a CAI property card that was kind of like a summary, and then there was the vision. We decided to do away with the CAI. Really didn't, it was just kind of a summary.
So they were
Yeah.
inconsistent because
Yeah.
vision is a photograph at a point in time,
Yeah.
and the CAI cards are being updated, so that now we had 2 cards out there and they had different information on them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And people were getting confused.
It
I-
is confusing.
Yeah.
I was-
I'm glad you got rid of that. That
We
was good.
took care of that. I did want to mention that our record cards are updated once a year after the actual tax bills go out. So if anyone needs a copy.
It's there, right on.
The FY 2025 values are updated now, but if they need a live copy, we will not update that online until next January.
So if there were an abatement,
Yeah,
that abatement would not be reflected in the card that you would see if you were looking at it from the public. But you can come into the office and ask for a card that will show you the information, completely updated.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to worry about CAI being inconsistent with it, and,
yeah.
Mr. Chairman, okay, those records, are they the ones that kept in the closet? Any of those abatement records and things like that? Your closet?
Oh, we keep our abatement files
In the-
year to year.
in the-
Some of that stuff's being moved out of the
Paper.
closet.
Is it, are we gonna scan it or anything? Is it gonna attempt to?
No,
No.
I'm trying to be realistic. No one's gonna spend the money to go scan all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, no.
Okay.
If you can find a grant somewhere that would scan all our stuff in, we'd
Don't we have a
love
grant
to
writer
take
coming?
advantage
We
of
would
it.
love that because we actually have we're able to find the old record cards prior to
Mm-hmm.
Vision. So we do have that
Right.
data.
That's great.
Just
But,
so-
So the answer is no.
The issue is that we don't have
Unfortunately.
enough storage in our office,
Yeah.
and
Right.
we've had to take some of the files and move them
Right.
to another building. So that's the issue, is we're being told by the fire department, we've got to get rid of some
Well,
of
there
our
was,
Yeah.
records.
they used to store them in the basement, and a lot of documents were lost that way to mold
Rotted away.
Yeah.
And mice.
and mice.
Yeah,
Oh.
so, but. All right, we also this week mailed out 490 fiscal year 2026 forms of list forms to businesses.
So
So-
explain to everybody what a form of
Oh.
list is.
Yes, a forms of list, all businesses get what's called a forms of list. It's actually a list of all of the contents in the business, whether it be a computer, if it's a hairdresser, sinks, whatever they have, chairs.
Not inventory necessarily,
Yeah,
but other
And-
It's
stuff.
personal property.
personal, it's all personal
Well,
property,
the
and they're
business personal property.
Right.
Yeah.
required to fill that out for us every year.
Yep.
So we sent out the forms of list so that we can gather that data for our next fiscal year.
Right.
So that's all of my items of accomplishments as far as goals for next month. I'm actually going to start working on fiscal year 2026 growth. Starting to schedule inspections for the FY 2025 real estate and personal property abatements. And we also need to review our fiscal 2026 chapter land applications. Hopefully we'll get to
In
do
fact, you've
that.
already done some of the inspections, right, for 2025?
On the real estate abatements, yes, we have. We've done 3 so far. That-
I'm heartbroken. I'm totally heartbroken here.
Why is that?
Your goals for next month. You're gonna give a stellar presentation on the February the 3rd.
It's not a goal.
Oh, that is something that I didn't mention, but, yeah, we do have a new chart.
Does not qualify as a goal.
Already prepared.
It's a meeting.
You're gonna do that.
Accomplished.
Yeah, we do have a new little chart with all the
I know.
exemptions that we will be presenting at the senior center,
Excellent.
which actually will help people when they come in to
Yeah.
know what the income and asset requirements are, and
You put them on the outside door there too.
what was that? again?
Outside the door.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And
have
on the
them in
website?
office. Yep.
And you're gonna send me a cleaner copy than what you've done or a scan.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
can actually, after this meeting, you can come back to the office and I can give you
I'm going
So-
up
a
anyway, okay.
copy.
2 questions. The first is, we're working on a budget now. I believe that the town manager is working on the budget, the interim town manager is working on the budget. And what do we have so far?
Copy of this.
Oh, it's a tiny font.
I hope you can read it.
It's because, it's because there's so many words out
Very
here.
small. So,
Holy crap.
so we
So-
do.
Go ahead.
We do have, so we have our salaries, and then we have other accounts like measure and list, contracted services, we have update maps, postage, office supplies, mileage reimbursement, dues and membership, schooling, and I had to give the town manager our costs for, which are, for 2026 coming up. So, I actually have $17,000, $17,750 for cyclical inspections, which is what Vision Appraiser will be doing for us. They're actually going to be starting that. So that was an expense that was actually added, and that's going to be over 3 years.
So
And
the town manager decided to sign a contract with Vision to do those cyclicals for 500?
They're 500 every year. We're
3
required by
years.
the Department of Revenue. We have to,
10%.
we have to do
500.
10% every year.
Okay,
Uh,
that'll help
So
get things.
we can do some of them in-house, but we
Yes.
did, the town manager decided to sign a contract for 3 years.
Mm.
I'm not sure, we couldn't have handled some of them, but we can still do some.
Yeah.
So we can actually be over, I won't say subscribed.
Yeah.
We can be
Well on the way for the,
beyond our, yes, exactly. So,
well, that'll be helpful too for doing neighborhood revisions.
Excuse me?
yes,
Hi,
We didn't see
sorry,
here.
I've been messaging. It's just really hard. Like Linda's voice is really muffled and Sarah's it's hard to hear, so I haven't been able to understand most of it.
not
I
sure we can
will
do about the
speak
technology. We can
louder.
move stuff away from the microphones.
I can hear Brian and Jack.
And
You
we'll,
can hear me? Wow.
oh, because our voices
Yeah, I hear you.
carry.
Yeah. Thank you. It's just a little muffled.
Fair.
It's hard to hear.
We'll try to speak up
Okay.
Thank you.
and articulate.
I see too that there's, you budgeted for neighborhood revision.
Your voice
I-
is very soft.
Okay.
I did budget for that. I estimated 25,000. We have, I thought it was 350. We have 500. Rena told me today we have 500 lake properties
Yep,
where we need to go in and look at the site indexes. So that is a directive that we have to do. The Department of Revenue has requested that. So we kind of do need to make that a priority. I'm not sure if that's
It's more than a
something-
request, it's a directive.
It is a
So let's be
directive.
really clear.
Yeah.
We have no
Requirement.
choice.
We
A
don't have a
requirement,
choice.
yeah.
We do need to do that. I did present this to Carter. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with this.
Okay.
I'm hoping to be able to put it under contracted services. Our mapping actually went up. I didn't have enough money in the budget. It was actually prepared before I had started, but there was a shortage with mapping. So, and that's $7,400 just for our, update our maps. And all of these vendors have gone up.
yeah.
Because we have RRC for our personal property, that's like $22,000. It was 19, and it went up to 22. Vision appraisal, we have that, and then we have software costs that we have that, it's like a maintenance type thing. And then the postage, we send out quite a bit of mail. Next year, with the forms of list, I'm hoping we can send out a postcard, and other towns direct people to print out their own forms of lists. So right now, we mail them. So it's,
Can we put a hold on that? This has disappeared?
If you,
What do you want?
I think if you click on the bottom Zoom button. it'll
Click the bottom
reappear.
Zoom button
Okay.
and full screen if we can.
Okay.
Sorry. Apparently we're having more technical problems than we'd like.
So, and even office supplies, that's another expense that has gone up. We did not have a data collector, so the mileage was an expense that wasn't
We-
calculated for.
Previous
so-
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for this current year, 2025. So this was submitted yesterday, and I haven't heard back. We'll see what happens with it, but,
I want to speak up.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think every town group has to submit their budgets, and
We
then
do.
I think we find out later.
Yeah.
What the proposal is from the town manager.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
fair. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The second question that I had was, each year we are asked how much we should put in the overlay. I think we ought to be preparing ourselves for an overlay question.
Okay.
Um,
I-
As we know, we only budgeted for 120,000 last year, and Mr. Rabbit was right.
Yes,
That we would go through more that year.
Hate to admit it.
We did go through more that year, but we also had enough in the overlay.
Right.
Right.
And it
Didn't we
finished-
also get money transferred out of our overlay?
Only 25,000, but yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a lot more till we actually looked at it.
Yeah.
Are we talking about that right now, Brian, or are you?
So, I just wanted to make sure we raised it.
Yeah, we wanna
We
get
can
that on the
talk about
radar.
it on February 5th if we want to put that on the agenda, overlay. I don't know when the overlay is due. I don't know when our overlay recommendation is due to the town manager, so, because they haven't asked for it. And usually right around now. So I want to get ahead of this curve for a change.
Now, the overlay only covers exemptions, right?
Nope.
No.
No.
abatements
Abatements, just
Yeah.
abatements.
and,
No,
And
and,
and exemptions,
Yes.
and exemptions. Okay.
Yes, this is where they're all combined.
yeah.
Yes.
it's
And so.
in the
therefore-
training thing if you want to go back.
Yeah. We're able to, I don't know if we're gonna make
Bless
it
you.
this year.
If you
but,
know what?
In terms of getting any deferrals in, whether or not we can, there's gonna be, I anticipate that anybody that's doing any of the 41s with
Does-
their income would then kind of qualify for the circuit breaker really fast. And then they come back and they apply for deferral.
So we will have that discussion on the 5th.
Yes.
I don't want to have the discussion now. I just
I'm
wanted to bring it up and
putting
get
out-
it in front of
putting it out
us.
there.
To think
Because
about it
we
for
need to,
the fifth.
right,
Okay.
That's a big number.
thank you. Thank you. Anything else?
Did you want to mention what we had spent in 2024?
Yep, please.
We had spent out of the overlay, $255,211.
That
I-
doesn't include the 25 we transferred out.
No, it does not.
Just for clarity.
We do have one case that is pending right now with the ATB.
Appellate Tax Board.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have.
And some of the numbers for fiscal year 2024, and some of those were abatements in the appellate board from previous
Yes, we
Years.
had
that we settled.
3 of them
Yeah, there were 3 that.
were from 2023.
So that would have been spent out of the overlay, but we wouldn't have a year designation on it. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
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 3 of
So-
them, I forget the amount.
Yeah.
Is the ATB a big number? Is it, no? It's only
We
one.
have, we have one case
We have
left.
one,
That's it?
yeah.
It's a residential. It's not, if it were a commercial, it could be huge.
Yeah.
But it's a residential, and we don't know what the answer's gonna be.
Okay.
But let's say somebody got their taxes cut in half. It's still not a huge number when
Big
we're
number.
talking about our
That's all right. I just
255.
worry about big warehouses down the street. or
Yeah, it's not,
something.
it's not. It's a residential.
I would've known, we should've known, I would've known that. Okay, never mind, it was a
It's-
dumb question.
No, not a dumb question. That's a good question. I've heard dumb questions before. That wasn't one. I wasn't pointing at you. I was just.
No, no, no,
Okay.
I'm hiding behind the screen, sorry. I'm actually making faces at him, by the way.
Sorry. We have, is that all you have?
That is all I have. When we get to our next item about invoices, I didn't get to bring the
Packet?
folder over
Oh, well, let's,
because of,
let's go through the minute. We
we can
also
go through the rest of it, so,
have not really had an opportunity to go through all the minutes that we wanted to modify.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the most recent minutes that I got from our minutes taker looked really good. There was one thing that needed to be fixed, and I fixed it, and then I didn't finish looking at the rest of it, so.
Yeah, I have not finished some minutes.
So
either.
let's make it our goal,
It will
to
be done for
February 5th.
Which means the minutes that we modify, we should really send like 3 or 4 days
So we have time to look at the
so we
changes.
can read them.
So, who's doing which dates? Which dates were you gonna do?
I have like,
You have 11, 26,
I will send you an
October
email
11th.
of the 2 I have. I will send you an
16.
email.
we're 5 behind?
It's not in my head right now which 2 I have in front, but I have
Okay.
it written down somewhere.
I'll do January 8th for sure.
I think I have the 2 preceding that.
The 10th and, okay.
Or
Uh,
I have some Novembers.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I will send you an email. I have it written down and I actually have them printed and I just have to edit them on one.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Did, okay. Review and approve invoices, expense vouchers, and billing errors.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip that today
We're gonna
because
skip that,
it's back in the office.
yeah.
Do you
If
want
you
us to
would-
go back and sign them?
If you could go
Exactly
back
what-
and, I have some motor vehicle abatement forms for you to sign. I mean,
I
I
can
just
do it.
need
I can
2
do
of
it.
you to do it. If, it doesn't have to be all 3.
If-
It's
Right.
up
My
to you.
car's back there, I'll do it.
Yeah, no,
I think all of our cars are
if
probably.
you don't
that.
wanna
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
tonight, it's no problem.
That's fine.
Let's see what time.
The assessor conference at the senior center.
Ah. Okay, okay, last week, running around, I had a chance to do a mini overview to the council on aging, because I'm attempting to get their attention and I was asking them to invite their friends.
Okay.
The other side of it is that part of that is I've been working with Deb,
Lincoln.
Goodsell, and in terms of this and getting some more ideas. And she made the suggestion that why don't we set up some sort of a distribution outlet in their location, and we could use Paula, yeah,
Oh, do you mean for forms?
forms
to
and things like that.
fill things out?
And that kind of evolved into, hey, I can help people with their circuit breakers in terms of helping them get an understanding of it.
Circuit
So-
breaker's not property tax related, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I just want to be, we're focused in
Yeah.
on the property tax here, so let's
I'm trying to
talk
create
about that.
essentially a way of messaging our senior population, and it's because of the data. It would strongly suggest that they aren't using their computers, or
Right,
if they
right,
have
right.
them and all the other stuff. So let's go and reach into there, and that's the reason for the conference. Okay, so I've been herding cats, and you've got, here you go, Brian hollered at me for sending it over so late.
Yes,
But-
because
yeah,
there's
because I
no
work- I
way.
work
I know.
I work
And
before
I
I
guess
get
so
here.
Brian-
Let's just go, okay, so this is Rev S you just gave us.
I just
I don't
gave you
know
an-
what's in Rev S, but I,
I was gonna step through the changes I made from the last.
Okay.
time. That's all.
that'd be good to
Can
know.
you- This?
Yeah, no, that's-
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Didn't
What did you say?
how many did we make?
This is Rev
Fourteen.
S.
Should be 4.
Okay.
We have
Oh,
Rev,
reversion.
we have Rev
Sorry, I
R.
was like.
That was
Rev
delivered to
what
us 2 days
software
ago.
beast are you talking about?
Yeah, you've got now Rev S.
I got it.
So, yeah.
What are the changes?
Okay. The
From
change-
Rev R.
Okay, from Rev R. First page, I cleaned up the numbering on the left-hand side. I incorporated. Here's Brian. Here's your comments too. By the way, I'm returning those too if you want.
Yeah,
But that was very helpful. Thank you.
well, I have
And-
comments on the Rev R, but go ahead.
Oh, is that what, was that R or something?
No, I have comments on Rev
On
R.
Rev R. Okay, so anyway, I cleaned up the numbering, and I moved,
So, I'm not sure what you did on the numbering, because it looks the same.
it's different, okay. There's that page may look the same, but from that matter, the Lunenburg Senior Tax Relief Approval, 5B, you asked that we move that up. Get
5.
that in there.
Oh. No, that was in there before.
Just looking at the front page, and this
Yeah.
is minor.
Okay,
It's select board, so
All right.
not persons.
select persons, they aren't?
Board.
Okay.
They're boards.
Select board chairman. You're talking about number 6, right?
Well,
Well, it's all over the place.
it's all over the
Okay,
place.
call it.
I think it occurs in 3, 4B, and 6.
So those are fixes to Rev R. He's telling us what the
Oh.
changes were to Rev S.
Sorry.
So we can then move on from that because I've got a whole bunch of changes to Rev R.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I've got, remember, every day there's something new piece coming
So what
in.
did you change on Rev S versus Rev R on the
I'm
first
stepping
page?
through this with you right now. Okay, page 2.
Wait, the first page you said there were some changes, but I can't find them.
Yeah.
Tell me what you changed.
Okay, I believe that perhaps the first page numbering was correct. It's the follow-on pages that get shifted.
Oh,
Because we moved
so no
around-
changes to page 1. Let's move on.
Okay, move
What are-
some stuff.
what other
Okay,
changes
page
did you
2.
make?
Page 2. I added essentially a Mass Health Standards and Poverty Guidelines as a reference point.
Yep, from the census.
Okay, page 3.
So
So
it was
this little
it
chart.
was there in Rev R, so that's not a
What's
change.
different?
Okay,
I don't know. Did you change something?
Okay, I'm I'm referencing the changes that I made to the document we did 2 weeks ago.
You're gonna. You sent us Rev R to review, so
Okay.
I'd like to review Rev R, and if you could tell us what the changes from Rev R to Rev S are, then I'll know what they are. But if you
Okay,
don't tell me
I
what
do
the
not-
changes from Rev
To
R,
my best of my memory, at this particular point, I do not believe there was a change from what I sent yesterday to what I came out with today.
it wasn't. Yes.
2 weeks ago?
So why is it a new Rev if you didn't make any changes?
Because every day there's some small change in the whole document, and
But you don't know what they are.
I do know what they are.
Well, show us.
But from one day to the next, I was only my checks went back to what I presented to you as a
Okay.
group formally. Okay.
Then let's go back to Rev R because that's what I have. I
Okay.
can't review Rev S because I
Okay.
just got it.
Okay, here we go.
Page 1.
Page 1. What did you see? What did you see?
Please do not call yourself Jane Rabbit's husband on a presentation that's coming from the Board of Assessors. It's unprofessional. Please, you may introduce yourself as such. Please do that because it makes it fun. But I don't want it on the presentation because, personally don't want it on the presentation. Because, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Because this is a representation of the entire board and we are going to be posting this sucker out on our website. So please make it professional. Take that out. I asked you that last
I
time.
know.
I won't. I'll ask you again. And if we want to take a vote on it, Sarah, I don't know how you feel, but I feel rather strongly that it's
Too much of a
unprofessional.
stick.
I concur with our chair who said it
I
quite eloquently.
absolutely worship this person who's put up with all this stuff that's going
So
on.
mention
so
it.
in the
I'm gonna say
Jeez,
it.
if you,
I'll say it
I,
that
I,
way.
I
Okay,
would
okay.
100% say when you stand up there, you should all know me as Jane's husband.
Unless I did it the
You
seniors.
can do that, no problem.
The
But
Council on
don't
Aging.
put
They
it
all
on the
laugh like heck.
slides.
They all laugh
Don't
like heck.
put it
Okay.
on the
I will
slides.
fix that.
Jeez.
You know
The
I'm
second
going to
one-
stalk those slides, right?
The second,
The
You're
Everybody
gonna come
else
to the
does.
presentation,
No.
right?
No,
What's
I-
that?
we
it's-
can't, we'd
I'm
have
at
to post
work.
a meeting.
I have to go to work.
So the second one was what Sarah mentioned, select person should be select
Yeah.
board
Okay,
every time.
and I've done that.
Mr.
Okay.
Franco is
Hey,
no
can
longer.
somebody mark up one of their own copies? Okay, that's what you got. Thank you. Can I have that after we're done?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Of course I can.
Yeah, I know you can.
And Franco's
So,
not on.
Lou Franco, whom we
Yes.
love, we know and love,
Uh-huh.
is no longer on the select board. He was a former student at, whatever
Mm-hmm.
college. I'm doing that on purpose, Lou.
Okay. Okay, so Tom there and
Don't-
and Lou Franco.
Well, Lou Franco, you can say former select board. You can
Yeah,
also
put a
say
space.
former assessor because he was both of those things. But he's not on the select board today, so don't introduce him
Okay,
as a
I'm gonna write
select board
select.
member.
Tom Frank is.
Thank
Lou
you.
Frank is, okay.
Thank you.
pass.
Thank
I
you.
I will modify. I
That's
am
page
hurting for
1.
Space. Okay, page 1. Page 2, what did
Page
you say?
2 is one of the fixes that I asked you to make on fact more than 9 million. It's more than 9 million, and I asked you to make it last time. You
Did I
apparently
miss
didn't
that?
make it.
Did I miss
Yeah,
that?
it's
Which-
not on
where
there.
is
It's not
that
on
fact
there,
on?
and it's not on S either.
That's not on S.
Look
Okay.
under
More-
your future home value and your
More
anticipated taxes.
than.
Your first fact,
Okay.
more
Bloomberg, home-
than. More than.
In the box.
In the box, more
There-
than.
yeah.
Okay, I just grabbed that, but okay.
This was
Than.
on.
But
This
I
was on the
like
one
that.
that you just
That's
gave
right,
back to
that's
me. but
okay.
it's not
Good.
there.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What else?
Sarah, did you find anything else before
No.
we get to page
No.
4? Page 4.
Page 4. Page 3 was okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot
In
of
fact, a lot of this
information.
is really good. It's
Yeah.
just that there's some grammatical crap. Excuse me. There's some grammatical problems.
Oh crap! Is good.
Sorry.
I relate to that.
I am sorry, everybody.
I did change the arrows, a little bit of sizing, some colors,
and,
but that's
and
it.
that's fine.
I
Okay.
So-
did have a question on the I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sarah.
You go
Did you
first.
want this population demographics, the first the first bigger font thing? Is that a statement, a fragment, or a sentence? If it's a sentence, it needs a period.
You mean Lunenburg population demographics?
In 2010, working age adults between 20 and 65 made up 62% of the population, and seniors over 65 made up 14%. Period.
Period.
Okay, I copied this exactly. Okay, so anyway,
I didn't see
Doesn't mean it was right from where you copied it.
that's true. Okay, so show me exactly where's the spot.
Put a period at the end of the bolded sentence.
Of this pen.
Period right there at
Yeah.
percent.
And there's a period that needs. Oh, there's a period there.
No,
Yeah, okay.
no, you're all set on the rest of
Okay.
it. The rest of that page is fine.
Okay.
Looks fine.
Okay.
Page 4. Last year's, there should be an apostrophe. Redfin, last year's.
Last
It happens twice too.
I know. I'm
Oh,
down. I'm not
sorry.
down there yet.
Okay.
Because further on that line, it says Lunenburg's sales price increased was. Take
Prices.
out the D or change.
Prices. I should put a sales
No, no, no.
prices.
No,
I don't
no,
care
no.
about
Price
that.
increased.
Take out the D on increased. It's not increased.
The increase was 8.6%.
Increase.
And the same below. It's
Yeah.
last year's
Okay.
apostrophe increased, no D.
Was that in your corrections too?
And
No,
just-
this is
No.
new. This is for
Okay,
your
good.
Rev R. I'm going
Okay.
back. I'm
I
only
just
going
wanted
back to your
figure
Rev
out how
R.
much I might have missed.
And just double check the
Did you fix
spacing
it?
after you delete that because
Yeah.
it looks like
Oh,
you have
yeah.
a giant space
Yes,
between
it does.
increased and was.
Check
And-
the space.
Increase on a year. And I think you said in a year above. Can you make them the same so
On a
they're
year?
in a year? They
Yeah.
should both be in a year.
Yeah.
And did you notice the lack of period?
I did, but I.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct.
Put
I'm
a
an
period-
engineer.
put a
I'm
period-
sorry.
Put it. Well, you'd think you'd be more
Everybody has
specific,
to
not
write.
less.
Put
Put a period after year on that page.
It's got
And
it.
in fact,
It's in there.
I'll
It's in there.
I'll put it on
Okay.
here so you'll see
I'm
it.
gonna put it on version S.
Okay.
Mortgage, okay, on page 5, actually, most of this is pretty good. The one thing that I wanted to put on there, Mass 41A, Lunenburg interest, deferral interest rate is 4%. That, you should note, the first time you mentioned it, you should note that year was 2006. You mentioned it later
It's
on.
It's in the covenant.
You mentioned
in
it.
the cover in the university.
Oh, so it's
in
there.
It's in,
So, okay.
You were looking for references.
And I'll take that one back.
I put that whole thing.
It's
in.
down here. It's not, mine printed off.
Okay.
No.
Can you just put a little asterisk next to the 4% and then put it in front of the Article 32?
Oh, I could do that. Yeah.
Just because
That's a good idea.
there's
I'll
a
put
lot
an
of
arrow.
figures here. I don't know in a presentation that everybody's going to see all those figures. I mean, that Town of Lunenburg thing on the left is so tiny, I
Yeah,
can't see
you
it.
can't, what,
I
I was
don't know
gonna
what
just
it is.
ask you what
that was
that
Kathy
is.
Herrick. I could try and make
mean,
it bigger, but it's all.
I don't
It's
know that you need it.
Right.
Okay.
Like you could cross that out
Okay.
and you could
Just-
just show the ICAF there in Herrick part
Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
Because nobody,
That's a good point.
I mean,
Yeah, this is.
I'm
good.
wearing
You're
my
right.
progressives now, and you know, I can't read it.
I went to bifocals. It's back. Okay, but yeah, I know. Okay, that's good. I can wrap. I
Page
can rack that one.
6, to be clear, home prices, it says home sales prices will rise by 4%.
Yes.
You can say expected to. These are just
Will.
assumptions that we're making, so it's an assumption. Just,
Expect to. Okay.
you want to say will?
Oh no, that's fine. You
Okay.
go ahead. I'm gonna
And-
comment when
Or
you're
maybe
done.
say may rise, we don't really know.
Well, we
We
can,
will.
We
these are
will.
the assumptions that we're
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
for this, and that's okay. Once you've said what your assumption is,
You could say may.
I would
well,
think
these
they're
are
gonna-
assumptions for him, so
Okay,
this is more
Okay.
definitive than me.
okay.
So I'm okay with that. And current home sales, will grow, okay. Once you've done the expected to in the top one, I think you're okay with the rest of them.
Okay,
So, okay,
There's some spacing issues on that,
where's that, sir?
number 3.
Number 3?
Do you see that giant space?
oh,
And
In
then,
between the
before the
number-
or,
In between your?
yep.
I'll,
And
I'll just circle.
also, I see this graph,
Mm-hmm.
and I like graphs,
Yeah,
but I can't read that graph.
Yeah, it's hard to read.
I think it's referenced
either-
on a previous slide,
Yeah,
or one of the slides.
I don't think you need to have it there. It doesn't do anything for you.
Oh,
This graph up in the top. What is that for?
That's a reference point, and then home
Well-
value rates.
If it's a reference point, it needs to be bigger.
Okay, I'll see what I can squeeze. Bigger?
And I got a problem with this figure in B here. I'm not sure what we're trying to show. It's so small. Nobody else is going to be able to read that.
this series of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, these graphs?
This,
This graph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can anybody read that?
Nobody can read that.
I should put 4%.
There's-
Okay, I will,
I think you could just leave your A and your B there, and something's happened with your formatting on each number bullet. The final one, you got another indent on the 2.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, okay, I like that.
I'll circle that.
That's good, I'll
And
straighten that out.
something's weird with your capitalization between 8688 annually. Do you just mean your property taxes are going to rise
rise by
approximately
8,000.
annually? So it
Yeah.
should just be a lowercase a.
Above was just a
okay.
lowercase a, so
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. Good one.
You can tell I didn't do that well.
But like I know what you're trying to do here with this chart, but it doesn't do anything for me. And
Yeah. I'm trying to demonstrate that you're gonna see at least a 4% increase, and based on history. And I'll do something with that.
but I think
And,
Well-
I did take the 868, and I said, let me put it on a monthly basis of what you can expect. Because people
I see.
can,
Yeah,
they live month to month,
okay.
or sometimes day to day. And
So-
put it in a month, something they can relate to versus a big number.
so, okay.
But you have year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have it over a 15-year period. It's not by month.
That's the other, okay.
He's got monthly below,
I've
estimated
got-
taxes.
If you go back to a little bit, a further section.
Well, that's
you'll
not
get the
monthly, right.
details on
Yeah,
that.
that's not
Yeah, but
monthly.
this one's not monthly,
It's
so.
not monthly. It's over a 15-year period.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do. It just isn't clear here.
Okay.
I put that in
It's
because when I'm speaking to it, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna show you a more of a detailed chart, but it's not in this section right now. It's another section, but this is what
Well,
it looks like. You're
the-
gonna end up having, essentially, your home is gonna appreciate $290,000, and your taxes are gonna, your net
But
afterwards.
you
is
say
gonna
that
be
again
100.
later, so
you're
it's
gonna do
it's
it later.
redundant.
I could say
so
it
say
later.
I'm going to show a chart about
Well,
this
you
later.
Okay.
You can just say it once, don't say
Yeah.
it twice in the
Dump this.
presentation. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Page 6.
You go.
So you got your stuff, Brian? You got your stuff?
So, no, I like that. There's
is-
a lot here that I don't have a problem with.
Yeah,
There's
you know, this
just
is-
this lowered age eligibility, we should probably reference which exemption we're talking about. 41C, 41D, 6, whatever the hell it is, 41A, it's not a 41A here.
Oh, there's a whole section where Linda's talking to.
I
where we
know,
talk
but just
about-
note them here, because you've got them listed, just later on when it comes up, she'll be able to give, unless you want her to go
Do
first.
you want me to, I can put 41A, I can put
Just-
in the references in terms of eligibility, which exemptions you're talking about.
Perfect, that's what I want.
Okay.
So, I'm,
And by the way,
and most of them may be 41C.
I'm having, Deb, Council on Aging, right? She's going to get up and talk about some of the stuff. We haven't figured out which of the handouts and such. Because I'm trying to I'm trying to do a few things, and one of them is to raise the visibility of the Council on Aging, because they are such a powerful
Okay.
voting element. And that's why I've got Deb in there with me in the front end.
That makes sense.
And she has the ability to, they have the ability to mobilize a lot of people and
Yeah.
potentially feed that senior center, because the
Okay.
senior center is gonna come under stress.
That's-
Yeah.
We've been through that. We've been through that
You-
20 years ago, right?
You're preaching to the choir, and we don't need to do the advertising right now. So let's just work on this.
Okay.
On this slide, in the S version,
Okay.
the plus, like, are the pluses introducing new bullets? New points? Are these points of equal value? Because the pluses are all different sizes.
Oh, shit. Shouldn't have been. Okay.
And then the,
Is that for public consumption?
Yeah,
the
okay, size
I
of
said
font.
crap.
You're right.
yeah, just check the font. It's not quite like hijacker
Yeah.
alphabet ransom note, but it's
It looks like it's a different font. doesn't it?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can that be? How can it be? It's the same font.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's-
Just
It might be okay. I will check
just
that.
check that one out. It's
It could be
kinda
this. I
funky.
think it might be the spacing, but I don't know because that block and this block were two different.
have
pieces.
fun with
Okay.
this. This is on PowerPoint. Oh, the formatting.
So, yeah, it's not a pain.
Such a
Uh, Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so let's move on. I just think page 10 might be redundant
Oh, you're
with
leaving
page
Margaret
11.
alone? Okay, Margaret's.
That's her stuff.
There's her
Whatever
stuff.
she
We're not
says,
gonna-
she
whatever she's
says.
gonna say it.
I'm not gonna fix her stuff.
And Michael is still owing me a little bit of material. And he
9.
says I want to talk to him,
Oh.
but
I'm sorry, you said you had nothing else. I thought you
Sorry,
meant,
sorry, I meant on
she's
the
going back.
page.
I lied.
9. It's a select board person.
Oh, I already wrote
Yeah.
that up here, so.
I said, really?
You figured he's gonna catch them or not catch them, and we won't know.
Select board. Thank you. I would have missed that.
You go ahead.
And what's written on here? You're gonna get these.
I'm gonna get them.
You're gonna have this.
I'm gonna do mine, and then I'm gonna go back, and then I go back and watch the video again.
So,
and see if this
my
makes
point
sense.
is, on slide 10 and slide 11 are kind of redundant.
Okay.
And I'm not sure they're necessary,
might-
and you've got Hero Act here, and I'm not sure it's sitting out there all by
Okay.
itself, lonesome.
I
The-
think 11
Linda,
is all we
okay,
need.
Linda, I haven't had a chance to sit down with you yet.
Yeah.
I know, but essentially, I took what you told me and said, look, you're only gonna really talk, you're gonna talk to the 3 exemptions, the 4 exemptions. The big change has been the HERO Act, aside from the things you're gonna talk about, the changes in each one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so she was gonna talk to that, I put something up that you could link to, you know, so, and then the HERO Act was a big deal. And just that, I know that you've sent out, what is it, 100 or so letters to the vets?
We
Oh.
did that last year. We can't, it's only on the 22Es, the veterans.
Which is
Yeah.
already over here.
So they are
Right.
the only ones that qualify for the HARO Act, but we cannot send out those letters and issue abatements until the motor
Right.
vehicle abatements, they go out.
Whatever you
The
wanna
excise
say to
tax
that,
bills go out,
but-
excuse me.
We
Yeah.
want to make sure that these people are talking to the vet administration person, and they're aware of it, they're not gonna sleep through it. They have to file every year, right?
Well-
And this is a way of reminding them too.
They do
Go
have
ahead.
to file their application
I didn't
every year, but on the
highlight it.
HERO Act, they don't have to do anything. We're automatically, once the motor vehicle bills go out, excise tax bills go out, we will automatically issue the refund for
So they
their
have to,
excise tax.
They don't have to take any action.
No.
don't they
So-
have to if they,
Yep.
I was under the impression if they're gonna file for any kind of veterans piece, they have to know about, they don't have to file every year?
Well, they have to file every year
Yeah.
for the exemption, but on the HERO Act, which
The
is,
registry picks up that and stays with it?
well, no, we pick it up. Anybody that has
Right.
filed for a 22E
Right.
exemption, we will, when their bill,
Automatically put that in there?
when their bill goes out, we will issue an
Okay.
abatement for whatever they paid for the excise tax.
So they don't have
So
to
just
take
tell
any
them that.
action.
Just
Yes.
tell them that, they don't have to take action,
No.
and
Yeah,
therefore.
we will do that
So I don't
automatically.
know if you wanna have two slides to mostly cover the same stuff or just one. That's why I was, and Sarah has something.
I was gonna suggest,
Yes.
we need this. We need this stuff as assessors.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna confuse people.
They don't need it. You
Okay.
could just take this big thing and say, we're gonna talk about these 4 things.
Mm-hmm.
Make that big,
Okay.
just the slide, and then
The
Well,
chart.
And the,
talk
okay.
about the chart.
Let me just,
Yeah.
finish. Okay. The other side of it, thank you. I will, like I said, it's up to you, Linda. I was going to leave some of this behind on the table if anybody wanted to pick them up. And with regard to the exemptions and things like that. And if you want, we can bring that up or we can ignore it, but I just wanted to say, look, go take a look at this stuff if you're interested and pick it up and walk away with it. And for that matter, I even included the website, if ones that could get to it, could go out and find the link, right? That's the link, that's what you would use to go see, to find more. So,
Yeah, you can do that. I'm gonna bring the applications
Yeah.
for all of the exemptions that we have.
okay,
And then I'm gonna bring copies of this chart. And this chart pretty much is a summary of, you know, the 41D, what the exemption amount is, the age, all the income asset limitations. And every clause, I put all the highlights
yeah,
in the chart. So it makes it easy for people to understand.
okay. Another thing that popped up
Yes.
today is that I was gonna ask you is that essentially, it doesn't mention, it just says, I get it, deadlines with regard to the exemptions. I went and looked at our website, and our website doesn't clearly say that, guess what? You've got till February the 2nd or whatever they, 30 days after. It doesn't say there, I can't find it. I don't know.
For the
And in the
exemptions?
meantime, I called, oh God, what's her name? Oh, jeez, I'm shorting out.
Becky?
No, I talked to Becky earlier on something else and then, but, there, when you go and look at the back of that form, right, the abatement form, that is not
Do you mean
clear.
the exemption form?
Yeah, no, the abatement form.
What you talking about?
What are you talking
Abatements
about?
or exemptions?
just-
Cause you just got me
I
all
just,
confused.
okay, I jumped from here and I suggested you might just put a little blurb in there saying, guess what, you get 30 days after, and I know it's a mix.
30 days
What
after
do you mean
what?
30
For the
30
ex-
days after the bills go out to file your abatements.
Abatements are due February
No,
3rd.
This is exemptions.
This
Oh, I
exemption,
know, I
this
know
is
that.
April
I just
1st.
gotta find a place to put that in there, because if you look at the forms on the abatements, and you read the back page, you can't figure it out.
We're talking
And
about exemptions, not abatements.
Right.
We're not doing
Abatements.
abatements here,
I
because they're
agree.
due February 3rd.
It's
When
It's
it-
too late, it's too
yeah,
late.
Yeah,
But that
Unless-
doesn't have to do with this.
No.
This is
Right.
exemptions, which is.
So-
I'm just looking to get a message out to everybody in the next week or so, or even for that matter, going on in the regard to
This
the website,
presentation
so.
is after that, so
Yeah,
it
so-
I
shouldn't
know,
reflect
you can't
something
go in
that's
there.
in the
Okay,
past
I
Yeah.
just-
that we
I think
can't do
should
anything
put a place
about.
in there that
If you want,
reminds people.
if,
Because I'm gonna, if this, as soon as this is fixed, I'm gonna blast this over to the Council on Aging, right?
yeah, but like you can send out a separate email. Abatements are due February 3rd. Abatements are due February 3rd. But like this is
Okay.
after that,
I
so
will- I-
don't conflate them.
I
I
think you're
won't.
gonna
We don't want
confuse
people confusing abatements and exemptions.
Exemptions are totally
I hear you.
different from abatements.
Okay, I will send
Please.
that blast out separately.
they get funded
Thank
the same
you.
place.
No, thank you.
They do.
I appreciate this.
We have a
Okay.
lot.
So what are you gonna do about page 10? Are you gonna take it out completely?
Linda, I'll do anything you
A-
want.
As I said, it's somewhat
your- it's your
redundant,
show.
but if you wanted to do this as your entire slide, or you could even put
Talk
that
to
and,
them.
and
Talk to
add
them.
Hero
Talk
Act
to
so
them.
that
I
you can
can-
talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
I think honestly, it's really hard to read some of these. I
Oh,
think I
you
would
wouldn't, you wouldn't try and read this. Most
Yeah.
likely
No,
you're
but-
gonna go
Yeah.
and either say, oh, I gotta
But
get one of these
you
and
want to
one of
highlight the
those.
HERO Act along with the other 4 things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So put it in
So-
as the 5th bullet.
You know, yeah, HERO Act right under.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
And that's
And
a
then-
nice thing for veterans for an extra benefit
yeah.
they get.
So
And then it'll set
make,
up that
make
next
this a
page
much
really well.
simpler slide without all that stuff
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
And then it's not redundant to the next slide, which is
There's
page
also,
11.
I have some sensitivities around somewhat a little bit, having both of us having veterans, at least one veteran friend and other veteran friends, they came back, so what are you gonna do about for the veterans? And that's why I started exploring what we could do, going beyond it, and there's nothing we wanna do, because it's, town pays nothing into that. Go see the veterans guys.
While I didn't follow all of that,
Yeah, okay.
I think what you're saying, I'm not sure what you're saying.
Okay, I'm just saying, go see the, go see.
Go
the
see a
event. Anyway, I'll simplify this.
Well, actually, you know who the veterans rep is, right? You have his
Hmm,
name,
I
her-
haven't-
their name.
Yeah,
Put
and
that
I
in
haven't,
here.
I haven't counted, oh, should we invite them?
It's kind of short notice.
It's very short notice.
But you could,
But you could highlight who it is
who
here
it
someplace.
is. Yeah.
Add the name, okay.
yeah.
Right? Does that
You
work?
could let them know it's happening.
Yeah.
You might get a call.
Yeah. Help. Okay,
Um,
so what do you wanna do with this, Linda? This is it?
Yeah.
That's gonna be all we got,
That's-
and then a little,
It looks
There'll be
a little,
introductory page. Go ahead.
It looks a little fuzzy. I'm wondering.
yeah, it's because I grabbed a copy.
Okay.
She's-
I'll
So
print
that's
them
what-
out, yeah.
Yeah,
It-
she's
If you
looking
make a
for
high
the-
resolution image
Yes.
and put it in
That's a scanned copy at the
Yeah.
office. I actually print them upstairs. That's the best
And they
part
come out
there.
really crisp.
The color's
But
better.
You could also highlight the part you want and print it as a PDF and then insert it on that slide so it has higher resolution. If you want.
And to truth with you, Linda, I took your image, and I said, this is terrible, so I tried to rescan it with my own
Oh.
copy, not the copy of the copy software. Cleaned up a little bit, nah, I'm not.
I
So,
can send you through email.
yeah, I'm gonna get a copy from you tonight.
Yeah, yeah. you
Okay.
can- I have one right in the office.
Okay,
So are we up to 12?
and we're at the 12,
Is
basically.
everything on 12?
Maybe just take the renters off.
I circled
Wouldn't be renters,
select
right?
persons and
Thank you.
Wouldn't be renters, right? Just
Franco.
homeowners, because renters don't get a
Fix.
copy tax.
What page you on?
12.
Oh,
See where it
oh,
says
there's a
A?
copy of one.
homeowners and
ADUs?
renters.
Renters.
Oh, my thing, oh.
Oh.
Do
All my colors
renters
went away.
Get the senior circuit.
Yeah, see where it says under A, homeowners and renters?
This is S.
It's 12,
the S
page 12.
version.
Okay, there, I found a change, Jack.
Homeowners and renters, you wouldn't do both? Is that plural? Does it say
Sorry,
plural?
sorry.
I
So-
don't think, we don't, because they don't have a tax bill.
Renters don't get a tax
Board.
bill, so how do they?
Select board
The,
members.
if you're, a-
And they're
okay,
not both members
the
anymore.
circuit breaker is not just
The circuit
property.
breakers,
And that's what we're talking about here, right? The circuit breaker is also personal income tax. And so therefore, a renter is.
That's all it
can
is.
qualify, if he meets the circuit breaker requirements.
Okay.
They can come back and do their mass personal income tax. And that's one of the double advantages
Of the
just-
circuit breaker.
Oh, yeah, well, actually it's three, now that we've got the new, means tested piece that
You
I'm
wouldn't
still
be able
trying
to
to
do anything if they don't
I
get a
don't
tax
think we
bill,
can-
though.
I tried to follow that thread. The many back and forth
Okay, Well,
to Becky
okay.
Busher, and she said we can't. Am
Not
I
till
getting
next
this
year.
right?
No,
We can't
no,
do
she-
that till
she-
February 2020 or till 2026.
she,
means
she,
tested.
The
she,
means. Mhm. Sorry, go ahead.
Go right.
Spit it out.
so she answered that you should be taking most of those questions to town council because she can't answer them.
Yeah,
Yes,
And that it doesn't take effect until 2026.
yeah.
that's the means
Those,
tested.
that's the bottom line on Becky, so I don't think we need to bother Becky about that
Yes.
anymore.
Because I'm just looking at
Please.
this right here and wondering if we want this on here, or we want to make an asterisk that says not possible until 2026.
Right.
Well,
It's not possible, we're not gonna be that far along. I mean.
so
finally-
I'm going to make a suggestion about that.
Okay.
The Lunenburg Senior Tax Relief Bill.
Mhm.
We need to figure out a process. I was gonna
Oh.
bring it up at some
Yeah.
point. We need to figure out a process on how that works.
It's massive.
I've already had a conversation with the two people that helped push this through, Lou and Tom,
Yeah.
and asked if they would sit on a committee with you and Linda and figure
I
out what
saw
the
that last
process
night.
is.
Okay.
You
I saw that
couldn't have
last
seen
night.
it last, well, what did you see last night?
It was on the selectmen's meeting.
What'd they say?
Basically, Tom announced that they were going to form a committee, and.
Good.
They
Good.
were going to.
I did not know that happened.
Yeah, it
So
did.
I was gonna suggest that the four of you set a time limit of 2 months or less to develop the process. Here's what all the forms are, here's what all the processes are.
Okay,
And if
here
you do not want to be involved in it, we
Here,
can.
go ahead, you read the stuff that's gotta go on. You
Well,
ain't gonna get that done in 2
no,
months.
I don't wanna
Okay,
read
It's a
that.
process. This is the law.
That's the
Yeah.
law, right?
That's not the process.
And
The
the
process
stuff they're
is,
calling out
How
for is
to,
big
how to
process.
do the law.
Yeah.
and if you can't do it in 2 months, we'll find somebody else that can do it in 2 months.
Sure.
Because Lou and Tom are very familiar with this because they wrote it.
Yeah.
And they know what the process is. Lou is a former select
Right.
board member
And
and an
an
assessor,
assessor.
so he has knowledge about the assessment process. You've been working on assessors. She's an assessor. I think between the four of you, you ought to be able to do it. And I don't think it should take forever. So I don't know what the select board is doing,
Yeah.
what they did about setting up a subcommittee. I wasn't familiar with it.
Right. Lou asked me, wrote to me this afternoon saying he wasn't gonna attend this meeting with regard to that. But
Tonight?
Yeah,
Or this meeting.
this meeting.
Okay.
This
Which meeting you talking about? Today?
Okay,
Our meeting today?
Yeah.
Okay.
he's on the
I didn't
Zoom
expect
right
him
now.
to.
He's on
Right.
Zoom.
Lou's on there?
He's on
Yeah,
the
I didn't.
Hey, Lou.
I didn't expect him to attend, but
I didn't
He's-
know he was
he's
gonna,
on
I
Zoom.
thought he was gonna. Hey Lou,
He
you there?
was here.
He is. He's saying, please.
Oh, you're
Yes,
muted.
yes, I'm here.
Hi, Lou.
I have been trying to get somebody's attention for 30 minutes
Sorry.
Oh,
because we can't hear you.
Oh.
Oh.
Can't they-
I hope this video on the replay comes through better than it's coming through live.
the Zoom won't come through.
I am so
Any
sorry.
better.
We do have a mic on the middle of the table here, but it's not attached to this computer.
What happened?
I can't hear. At some point, I think I heard my name.
Yep. In vain, of course.
He can't hear
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I can hear you, Jack, pretty well.
because I think the audio input is near Jack.
Brian, a little bit.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, the
I
plus.
think it's the
But I
mic
try-
input.
I-
And this is Courtney speaking. I agree. I've been saying that as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Change.
I'm sorry, guys.
We're
It's
sorry the
just-
technology's not helping us
Yeah.
that much, but the replay tomorrow on Facebook.
Is there nothing?
I don't know if the replay will. It might sound just like this. So
No.
I don't know.
No,
It's
there's
being recorded by
Yeah.
PACC.
so there's a mic right in front of me and Brian. Linda's further away,
And
and
I'm out in the field.
and
someplace.
Jack is about
he's-
equidistant. But then we have the computer that's running Zoom,
Yeah.
and you can't hear. You're not like you can't hear me right now, right?
Because the Zoom. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason, the Zoom mic is not picking up female voices for number one.
I am loud right now.
I know. I know, but it is also, it's probably directional mic on
Yeah.
this laptop, so I apologize for that. Tomorrow's recording should be much clearer because we have a microphone right here in front of us, and it is being done by professionals, not by us.
We are in a
Real
different
pro.
room too. That's the other problem.
Well,
Yeah.
in the
We
meantime,
have
we
the
have
other
a
one.
misogynistic microphone.
Apparently, I don't know why, but
Yes.
apparently. Jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry we didn't
So,
reach out.
Jack, I heard you mention my name at some point.
Yeah.
I really couldn't follow any of this. I have no context. So all I
Right.
know is this.
Right.
I'll be there on the 3rd. If that came up, I'll be there to help. I'll be there. I'll be there. with
And-
this.
and-
I'll be on
And
whatever Tim
the
speaks for.
the point was we are going to assign a subcommittee that includes Linda, Jack, Lou, and Tom to figure out what the process is for implementing this new law.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And I think we need to target it as a short, fairly quick turnaround. Jack was saying, "Oh, it's a big law and it's going to take us forever." So I hope not. I hope it's 2 months or
I
less.
think there's a whole. Well,
Yeah.
Lou, let's you and I talk about it
I
before.
think a lot of it is going to be about, and I mean, maybe this already came up in the meeting, but a lot of this is going to be about coordinating the pieces in the right order so that all the
Yes.
prerequisites are met by applicants to qualify for the senior tax.
Yep.
Right. And it's the prerequisites that need to get ironed out.
So,
And then what happens if we
Anyway.
go over our allocated
not
funds?
half unless you have anything from me, but,
Okay. Thank you.
okay.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
can I recommend that on this part, you
Thank you,
actually
Lou.
write that it's coming in
Do you
2026.
know Will Nazer
Yes.
from Westford, Lou?
Here, you see, I can get that coming.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Just so people don't think it's available right now.
Right.
Hello, Lou. Oh. You can't- Must be something with the voices.
I told you. Lou, we're going to have Linda speak, and let me know if you can hear her.
Okay,
Do you know Will Nazer? He's an assessor in Westford. I know you used to be an
barely. I
assessor.
mean, like, I know there's a voice.
Okay, well,
It
I know
is.
that Westford just adopted that a couple years ago, so I might reach out to him, and he is a wealth of knowledge. And he probably, knowing Will, he probably has some kind of a organizational chart that.
Take that off there and see if there's microphone's right there. Nope.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know where it is.
I'm sure he has a lot of extra information. He probably has some kind of a flow chart,
He did start
hopefully,
catching that.
because that might help.
A lot.
Can you
With
hear
this-
it?
He can't hear me.
Can you hear?
No, he can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
I heard something about a flow chart. I think if the computer is pitched just a little bit more toward her, you might pick her up totally.
Boy, I'm sitting right beside it too.
She's
I'm,
sitting.
I'm
She's
literally
sitting right
sitting
next
right
to it.
beside the computer. That's so funny. I don't know. I guess it's got to be something. It's being selective with the voices it's picking up, I
It won't
think.
pick up women. I don't know why.
I mean, sometimes it can be of the frequency of
Yeah.
a person's voice too, you know? So,
But yeah, I might reach out
wasn't
to Will Nazer. He's an assessor in Westford because I believe Westford does have this, and they did adopt it. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So
So the commitment is that Linda's going to do some research, and then you guys will have to figure out when you meet.
okay.
Hey, Lou, Darlene's
That would be
voice.
helpful because
Do you feel
to the
like you're
extent that we don't have to
mansplaining?
reinvent the wheel, of course, that's
Yeah.
way better.
Precisely.
And I know, and now there's more precedent for this. I think I heard somebody say the other day that there are like 43 towns that have this now or something. I mean, when
Yeah.
we started this effort, there were only 3.
Right.
Then by the time I think we got it put on the warrant in town, there were like 13. And so now it's apparently catching a fire around the state. So yes, there's plenty of precedent. And if you've got a nice a flow chart from Westford, that was great.
I'll see if I can get that. He's this assessor is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure he's always up on all the exemptions. So I will reach out to him and see if I can get some more information in what they do in Westford, and that'll hopefully
Okay.
help us when we meet.
Yeah, that's totally excellent. And I mean, I have, so, you know, I don't know if you knew that I was on the Board of Assessors here for 11 years, so I have some nuts and bolts knowledge about what goes on where the rubber meets the road. But when Tom and I drafted this whole thing to become the warrant article, we were kind of thinking, you know, 10,000 foot view. But now it's time to implement, and that's going to take thought from the whole committee that does this.
Right.
But that flow chart will be great.
Okay.
Just, all right.
Thank you, Lou.
So thank you, and I do have to cut out unless anybody has any more things they want to discuss with me on. So.
Hey, Lou,
Oh.
I think that what it
It's
is,
okay.
Darlene has a soft voice too. And now I'm going to accuse you and the rest of us males that we don't do very well there.
It's the microphone.
It's the mic.
Okay.
It's the mic.
Anyway, thank you, Lou.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Hey, I'll talk to
He
you
was
tomorrow,
looking
Lou.
for a signal to go, bye.
He was holding up a paper with writing on it.
Was it really?
Thank you. Okay,
Coming
So,
in 2026.
back to the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had a page 12 that was not this page 12.
Yeah.
And it is now apparently missing, so
It might have gotten dropped.
Accessory dwelling units, which actually is kind of.
Accessory dwelling units.
important.
Okay, you know what? I had, if you go back a few pages,
It's-
it repeated itself.
Oh.
That's Michael Ray's.
Okay.
It is
So,
repeated.
so that's why it's
I-
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
I'm
know.
going to leave it
It's
because
Yeah.
it was redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm on your page 12, my page 13. I had this all on.
Oh, okay.
And it says homeowners and renters. Circuit breaker is not a property tax issue.
Where is this? Are we looking at the same?
Page 12,
13?
your page 12.
My page 12.
Version S.
Okay. personal income tax reduction means tested, property price. What did it say? What?
This says homeowners and renters,
Yes.
but that's only for the circuit breaker piece, and that is not a
That's
property
That
tax
affects-
issue.
That affects, senior, the circuit breaker affects your personal income tax. You
Yes.
go in separate
Yes.
filing.
I got that.
Yes.
And at the same time, if you're a renter, you pay personal income tax and you are subject to being able to use the circuit breaker.
But you
But you
can't
have it
impact
saying-
your property taxes if you're a renter
Renter.
because you don't get any.
It-
You don't
You-
I
pay
think
any.
we're
You take
quibbling
your
over this
rent.
part right here.
Yeah, you take your rent and you take, if you get water bill.
Doesn't
and
matter
rent,
to your property taxes, Jack.
I think you could,
This is-
we don't do
You're
the circuit
conflating
breaker in our office.
the
That's
circuit
what's
breaker
confusing.
with,
to-
which is income tax, with the property tax.
Yeah.
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 But
We
they
can't
both
help 'em.
utilize a circuit breaker.
We don't do a circuit breaker in our office. That's
you
done,
don't.
no,
We
that's
don't.
done with
You-
the accountant at tax time.
That's
So
correct.
Maybe you can say something like, the assessor's office uses 41A to provide some relief
Right.
of exemptions. And did you know that on your taxes,
Yeah, your mass
Separately-
personal income tax.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what that says.
Well,
no,
I just
No.
don't want
And
It
you
people,
doesn't.
can get a deduction of $2,580.
I agree that you can get that, but that's not what this is saying here. It's saying these two separate programs can work together, which is true, but it's not clear one of these is your federal tax and the other is the
State.
Okay.
assessor's department.
yeah.
I highlighted the two, and these are the two that you need to first get your circuit breaker, and then you can go on to your deferral,
Okay.
No,
right? Yeah?
no.
You can get the deferral
The way the
anyway.
thing is written, you can get your deferral
Oh,
without a
absolutely,
circuit breaker.
absolutely.
So what you just said is wrong.
But the thing that I'm presenting is, or Linda had presented, is the changes that went on in the circuit breaker that are going to be essentially $100,000 per. And in 41.
Nope.
We
She's
don't
not
do-
presenting that.
We don't do
109.
circuit
not
breaker,
presenting that.
we don't do circuit breaker.
She's
We're
presenting
just-
this
That's,
and this.
I just wanna make it
Property
clear
tax
because
exemption,
that's
blah.
done by an accountant. We don't have anything to do
We're-
with the circuit breaker.
We're teaching people, it's really simple, right?
It's
at all.
it is fine to teach people that they can do the senior circuit breaker. The issue is not that. It's that it is not a function of the assessor's office to implement the senior circuit breaker.
Right.
You can absolutely say, we can give a 41A property tax deferral. And eventually we can help with that means tested senior tax exemption. But the other parts, the senior circuit tax breaker, that's administered by what? Who administers that?
They fill out the form and they turn it into somebody that I don't know yet.
It ain't in the assessor's office.
It's not the assessor's office. So,
So they've got to also have you're probably right, because they can actually take the circuit breaker back 3 years and post their, modify their per state personal income taxes.
so it is administered by the State Department of Revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So you file it with the DOR?
I don't know.
That's what I'm waiting for.
But
But
what it
it
says
doesn't
here,
belong
it looks
here.
like it belongs
looks
to
like
the
it belongs
assessor's
to us.
office.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Okay.
gonna come to the assessor's office with a ton of questions on
Right.
the circuit breaker, and we can't answer one of
Because
them.
on the tier documents and things, they don't reference who we send it to.
Who we send what to.
Who
Is it a-
the
is it a-
town employees
is-
send it to get a confirmation? Or do they basically,
Is
the
it a
form here,
rebate?
We get a
I'll show
copy.
your
No,
state
no,
tax?
no, no,
form.
it's very clear. We get a copy of their income tax. They have to give us a copy of their income
Right.
tax, which would include any circuit breaker application or any circuit breaker
Right.
relief.
Oh, thank you.
I would
So-
focus more on 41A and not circuit breaker.
Right,
You
Just-
gotta-
that's the point. It's,
Yeah.
They have to get the circuit breaker
No.
approved to get,
no, they don't.
No, they don't.
You want to read the law? I've got the law here. I've got a whole bunch of it.
I didn't type this up, but here it is.
I'm just telling you what.
Okay, and here's the circuit
I
breaker
would,
tax.
I would do this, 41A deferral. I would take out
So-
this,
It's
this heading right here because We don't do that. I would
So-
focus it more on this
so-
deferral.
This says refundable tax credit, which tells me this is
That does
perhaps
two things.
But this tells me that perhaps because it's a tax refundable tax credit, this tells me that it's probably a state administered
The-
thing when you file your tax return.
The wording on the 41A,
But we know
states-
we administer the 41A.
Right, but it says you have to show that you qualified
Nope.
for the circuit breaker.
You want to read it?
No.
Yeah.
It's
You
right there.
have
I've
to-
underlined where it says, if your community has accepted the
Which it
circuit
has.
breaker. Well, I don't know what year that happened, but I'd
many
like to
years
know
ago,
that.
yeah.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah, okay.
But just before that, you don't have to have the circuit breaker. You could use the rules
You-
that don't include the circuit breaker.
That doesn't give you the same kind of allowances on your house and your income. You
the-
only
the
get
amounts-
20,000.
The amounts may be different,
Hold
but
on, hold
you're,
on, hold on.
what you said was categorically you can't do it, and in fact you can. So don't say you can't.
Okay, so homeowners, in the case of a taxpayer owns a principal resident, the credit is equal to the amount of taxpayer's property tax payments in the current year.
Yep.
So anyway, and then it's the 10%.
Yep.
And, hold on.
So yeah, they get this back in their income tax.
Okay. Property tax deferrals used to be that you could go up to only $20,000 in income.
No, you
But
can.
You can. You can go.
Right now you can go
Right,
up to
you can do that.
20,000.
But who's doing it? There's
Just
not
saying, you
enough
can't
money
say
there.
you can't do it because you can't.
And they have raised that significantly.
Which is great.
Yeah, which is what we're trying to do. But you have to have filled out the circuit breaker.
No, you don't.
No.
The circuit breaker is your tax return. It's on
Right.
your tax return.
Right.
It gives you a rebate on your income tax.
On your state turn.
Yes.
That's correct.
The
Credit.
only thing required in the 41A is for us to know your assets and your income.
And you
And-
don't.
and
We're
part
not
of that
going to
is in-
ask for compliance.
part of that
we're not
is
gonna
your-
ask for them to turn. You have to turn in your taxes. I
Part
thought.
of that
And
is your
that's-
income tax form. We
We'll
need to
see
get
it.
a copy of your income tax form. We'll see it.
But they don't have to.
But
They
that's-
don't have to have filled out the circuit breaker
Right.
to file their taxes
That's
and
only
give them
if
to
they
us.
filed.
Well, but they can file, and I mean, it would be great if everybody who filed was eligible for the senior circuit breaker
Right.
and filed for it. But not everybody is mandated to require.
Required to file. So they have to have a vehicle.
No, I'm not finished.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They're not mandated to file for the senior circuit breaker. They don't have to do that
They
to
just
be
have to
eligible
meet
for the
the
41A.
exemption requirements.
They just have to
Yes.
file a return and show it to us. It doesn't
Just-
have to be this.
So they have to come in with some sort of outline that says, "This is what I bring in. This is
Yeah.
how
No,
much my
that's
water
their
bill
income
is."
tax.
Yeah.
That's the
My
income
total-
tax form.
It says everything on the form that they are
Yeah.
required to
I
bring
have a
in.
form.
So-
I have a form.
I am okay with you presenting that many of them, if they're eligible for the 41A, are probably eligible for the senior
And vice versa.
Yeah.
circuit.
Yes.
But they
And
don't
then some.
have to do this to get this.
Right.
They don't have to file for the senior circuit breaker to be eligible for the 41A.
Right.
They have to show it to us.
No, but they don't have to have
They
filed
have
it
to
at
fill out
all.
the form.
They have to file income taxes.
Right.
That's all they have to do. It would be dumb
Okay.
if they're eligible for this not to file for it, but they don't have to file for that rebate unless they want to.
They don't have to, but
They-
more often than not, you're going to get a big piece of population
Yes.
that's going to go over the $70,000 income. That's a married couple, right? So now we're going up to 109,000.
But that doesn't matter for this.
Right. You're
They
not-
just have to file an income tax form
right.
that shows that they meet this.
Here's what our
to get
income
this
is.
from the Board of Assessors. They should file for this
Sure.
to see if
They
they're
should.
eligible
Oh, they should.
with their state
Yes.
on their state income tax form.
And they absolutely should.
And this one,
And if
they just show
if
us
they file,
filed anything.
and then they're
and
going
they're
to
eligible.
come into us with their data or that form filled out, and we accept that form.
It'll have a copy of their income tax on it.
It'll be there. Because in order to file this period, they have to have
give
done an
us
income
their
tax
income
form.
tax. Right.
Oh my gosh. I'm just getting so
It's a
excited
light-
about this.
I just
Boy, okay.
where
I have.
The thing is, for the senior circuit breaker, they have to be 65, right?
That's correct.
For our 41A, do they have to be 65?
That's part of the discrepancy that goes on.
Don't we have some that, I forgot, is it 60 for for a 41A?
I'm looking to see if it's on here. I
41A
think it
is
is.
65. The new means
'Cause we-
tested
we-
has verbiage that says
Hang on,
65.
let's just talk about the 41A first.
Okay.
Right.
I think our 41A says 60,
Right
where's
there.
that chart?
65 or older.
Yeah, but
Oh, we didn't.
61A.
Which one is the one we
65.
reduced?
41,
That was 41.
41C.
Sorry, I've got my letters mixed up.
41C. So if you look up here,
Yes.
the documentation they have to provide includes, I can't read the first one, the second one's birth certificate, and the third one is
Income
and then
tax returns.
is income tax returns.
Right.
They have to give us their
So
income
if
tax
we
returns.
have no
We don't
seniors
care
that
if their
don't
income,
file, what
we
are
don't
the-
care if their income tax form includes a circuit breaker or not. If it includes one, we'll take it. If it doesn't include one, we'll take it. Having said that, you should encourage everybody to file for this circuit breaker because if they're going
That's
to be
what I'm
eligible
trying
for this, they want to be eligible for this. They're probably going to be eligible for this circuit breaker. But that's got nothing to do with the 41A. That's what we've been trying to say to you.
Okay, it has nothing to do with 41, but it has everything to do with the deferral.
That is 41A.
If
Jesus Christ.
no. Jesus Christ. Okay, no, he's not here. Total income cannot
Does
exceed
that
600.
clear it up?
They changed the if I had a hold on if
What
I
is it?
have it with me.
What is the change?
Give me that one.
Think
Give me that one. Give me the one you just had, the 41A, the
Hang on.
document, the actual guidance.
The DLS. You actually, I
Okay,
know you have a
right.
copy of this because you put a copy on the front of one page on there.
I probably do. Filing an applicant.
Put it in the spreadsheet that, I mean,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the-
yeah.
in the
Income
document.
limits.
Yeah. It is confusing
Oh, it's
No.
complicated.
at
Okay,
first.
the gross
just don't want
receipts
them
limit
coming in
may be
thinking we can
increased
circuit
up to
break
the income limit allowed by the circuit breaker.
Yep.
So,
Well, I
okay.
think you
Maybe.
State income
You
tax
do that on your
credit for
income
a single
taxes.
non-head household, okay, by a vote.
Do that
order.
on your income taxes.
You do
and-
that, you can do that on your income taxes.
The senior circuit tax.
But what about our seniors that don't file income taxes?
Then they aren't eligible for a
For-
tax break on
Yep.
taxes they don't pay.
Yeah. If they don't file it,
Right, they're
we
not
can't do
gonna
it for them.
file their personal income tax. But what are they
You
gonna do?
should encourage them to file
Okay.
so they can
That-
get the rebate.
that'll
That's what
just
you should
scare
do.
more of them off. Okay, but anyway, the 41A deferral,
Yeah.
right, is the thing that I'm really after,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I know.
So
Yep.
are we going to accept if someone didn't file their taxes and they come in and we've helped them fill out the form?
One of the
That
requirements
demonstrates
is they
it.
file a income tax. It says right
They
there
have to
on
do
the
it.
thing from the DLS. So what do you want me to do about that?
I
They
would
have to
put
file.
that- I would change this and put that, that's what's on that form.
It doesn't say you have to have it filed.
It says you have to give us a copy of your income taxes.
Yes.
You don't
which
care
says
if
you
it's
have to
filed.
file.
So whatever
Oh.
you filed, sorry,
On the
I hate to get
deferral.
excited, but this is, it feels fairly clear to me, but I'm
Yeah,
not
it
sure
doesn't.
it can make it
It-
clear to you.
I wrote on the
Okay.
41A here. That's what the assessors deal with for the exemption. We need to see an income tax form. You don't have to do the senior circuit tax break,
It's
but you
highly-
should.
But it's highly recommended.
You should. If you are actually in financial challenges, you should file your income tax
Right.
form
Right.
so
Right.
you get money back.
So there's no other way, unless you show them an income tax filing, that they could comply with a deferral at the new higher rates?
At any
High income
any
rate.
rate.
Yeah.
If they don't give
We
us an
have to
income
see their
tax,
income-
we don't know what their income is. If we don't know what the income is, we can't give them the deferral. Because that's what the rules say. That's how the law is written.
Gross receipts mean income on all sources, federal or state, okay, but where does it say in here that if they don't file, we can't help them? We
It
Go up
can't,
to
says
the
we
top,
need
it
the
says you
income
have to
tax.
give me an income tax form. You have to give me a birth certificate. No two ways around it.
first of all, income tax.
You should find an accountant or a tax
Yeah.
person that would come in and talk about this, because
And it may be a whole separate conversation.
Okay, if they have a
might,
short-
but
That may be a
file-
whole separate conversation
Yeah.
on the circuit breaker. Actually, that's a good idea. Thank you for thinking of that.
They
Well,
can
I
have
Wish
a
I'd
short
thought of it.
report.
I just think that this, we're not gonna be able, people
We
come in.
can't, this is what the assessors are doing for you, and we can't
Yeah.
do that for
You
them.
have too much on
But
the
you can,
senior circuit breaker, I mean, you've got,
we got pages and pages of
I
senior
just
circuit breaker
think
here.
you should bring a tax person in, and that person can guide people, but you shouldn't make it look like we do this, because
We don't.
we
Right,
don't.
We don't do that.
And I'm not gonna be able to explain this to people, because I'm not an accountant or a tax preparer.
Well, who's doing this page? John Rabbit.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
So somehow on here you have to just say, senior circuit breaker is from your mass income tax return. 41A, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
make it glow or light up, like, one of those like
Appoint-
shocking
Done by your-
PowerPoint.
Okay, so
Your
we're gonna
things.
take the position that you're gonna file either a quick short form, and you're gonna show us this,
Yep.
and that'll be your income tax. And if they come in and present the water bill and the tax, when they see the tax bill,
Yep.
we're gonna qualify them.
We'll determine whether they're qualified.
Right.
But we
They may or may not be qualified. I
but
don't
the,
know about
the
that.
law says we have to see the
Right.
Income tax.
income tax. That's what it says in the DLS
Okay, so we
guide
need a
right
short
there.
form. Okay. Documentation, you must provide. Okay.
It's I don't know how, yeah. So,
Okay,
so a
it's
lot of the
tax form.
senior circuit breaker stuff doesn't really need to be in this
Yeah.
presentation.
I think
That's where I was going
Probably.
next. That's why this was
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Now, I didn't anticipate that stuff was all gonna stay. I was trying to point, okay, the eligible piece, that's clean.
I don't know what you got there.
I'm sorry.
that's
13.
13.
13, page 13.
So
yes.
that's who's eligible for. Okay, so
So you,
See, this is right out of the tax credits.
yeah, but that's the
tax
that's,
breaker.
That's,
And that's
tax
circuit
credits.
breaker.
Yeah,
That's,
That's
but we do exemptions.
right.
So maybe
But we also do deferrals.
Which
and-
is the only thing
Right.
we can do on several
yeah,
of these
40 days
pages.
deferral, and we're trapped for that. Okay, so we gotta say, you gotta get a short form.
You gotta file a tax.
you
I don't
gotta
care what
file
form
your
you do.
taxes.
Yeah.
I don't care what form you do. They may have longer form. I don't
They have
care,
longer
but they
forms.
need to
They
do
have longer forms.
taxes.
Do we need all
Did I
of
bring
these?
that in there?
So
I would
there's
just
several
say-
pages in here about circuit breaker that I don't think we need.
Yeah, I think
Because it's
maybe-
just confusing, number
It's-
one. Number two, I thought Linda's idea of bringing in somebody, sponsoring somebody, to go talk about the senior
talk about
circuit
that.
breaker at the
That's awesome.
at the
I'll
adult
get Steve to
services
print out.
center, or whatever they're calling themselves now, is a great idea.
And maybe it's short notice right now. Maybe that can be an additional time before April 15th,
Uh-huh.
when people have to file taxes. So like pages 13 through 18, maybe this gets pulled out, saved
Yeah,
for the
don't.
tax professional.
There's a lot
is
of really
great,
good work here,
stuff.
yes.
No, I'm
That's-
not.
So
Yeah.
we've been arguing like we didn't like this. No, we
No,
like
I
it.
love it.
It doesn't belong
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
It doesn't belong in a presentation from the
I'm gonna
Board of
make
Assessors.
the circuit breaker, this piece is a handout.
So page 13 through 18, that's
I-
the tax
I'm gonna-
professional
let
that
me-
we can
let me
try to
debate
get to
the
come in
13 on
before
that.
April 15th.
Threshold amounts for renters and homeowners, it says. Okay, I was just trying to demonstrate that
Yeah,
it's
I-
going up big time.
Yeah.
Do we want a calculation for personal income tax available 2004? Okay, I won't bother to tell them about that. I was trying to tell them about that, but maybe I'll make that a handout on the side.
I just think you're gonna give people the impression that we're gonna do this for them on their
We're not.
taxes, and
Yeah.
we're not. That's
Right.
not
Yeah.
what we do.
By the way, on page 18, senior circuit breaker should be BREAK.
Oh, that's my page 19 on the S
Yeah.
version.
That's true.
No, this is,
Oh.
No,
S-
breaker,
Oh,
BREA.
Sorry. You're right.
BREAK.
Sorry.
so I don't know
I'm not even sure.
where you got the slide, but they spelled it wrong.
Yeah, I did. I spelled it wrong.
Oh, thank you.
I did.
Can we move on to,
And I
that's,
was
so that's,
just trying to give them a sense of you.
We get
we
it.
get it.
Yeah,
We
we-
get
You
it.
don't need to
Go
preach
ta-
to the choir.
okay,
We're
I can
on your
stay?
side with this one. We
Oh,
just
I
don't
know.
want it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Omit and save 13 through 18.
And this gets back to the other chart with regard to, it's now 4%. I was gonna try and highlight that
Where are you?
on page 20.
Wait,
Hang
what
on.
about 19?
Where did I go 19?
I mean, I don't have anything to change on 19. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do.
18, 17.
Nope, I had nothing to pay, nothing on page
I
19.
had nothing
so
on 19.
I don't
Page-
have a page 19.
What?
What? 41A. You
It
do.
looks
It's
like
right
se-
here.
41A.
It's right here. You hold it out.
Okay, pulled it out there. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so any problems with page 19?
I don't see anything about this.
I know, that's my next comment.
What's up?
I mean,
We haven't
that's-
gotten there yet.
That's a big thing.
I know, but I was
yeah.
thinking about it on page 20.
I'm just making some notes.
You want to put it on 19?
Well, I just think the whole thing
Well,
about
this
the
is an
41
explanation of what it is.
Yeah.
And then on,
doesn't say
on page, I think it go on page 20 or page 19, somewhere in there, one of the things that people will have to know is that if they have a mortgage or a home improvement loan, meaning someone holds a lien on their property,
Right.
their lien holder must agree to,
I believe that's in the verbiage.
don't see it anywhere.
Okay.
It needs to be right up front, though. It should be
Sure.
step number 1.
Yeah.
Don't bother looking at this if your mortgage holder won't take it.
Or if your mortgage is, basically, they'll only cover up, even
Yeah.
us, we'll only cover up to 50%.
It doesn't
We'll only
matter.
refer
If your
to-
mortgage, if your
Says
lien
no.
holder doesn't approve it, we can't go any further.
Right.
So stop. So that needs to be right at the top somewhere on this 41A discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it.
And I don't care where it goes,
Yeah.
page 20 or page 20, excuse me, page
19?
19 or page 20, and they're gonna be renamed, numbered now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Either one of those is fine with me. I don't care where you put it. As long as it's in there, pretty close to the front. So, we're on,
Will they take a second position?
Who?
Will your mortgage company take a second position? We're into that one.
but that means they have to approve you doing this.
Right. And
So,
usually-
that's how
It
how
just
you
needs
say
to
it.
be
That's how
highlighted.
I would say it to anybody. Your lien holder must approve your entry into
Right,
this program.
right. We're willing to take a second position on the note.
And
But
two-
that's too much. Just say they'll approve it, because once they've done that, what do we have to approve it? Oh, they have to take a second position on it. Okay, great. We can explain all that stuff, but just make it very simple terms.
Okay.
They have to approve. If you still have a mortgage or a lien holder of any kind, they must approve. Or get yourself another mortgagee or mortgager. But, you know,
I know Bank of America doesn't approve that.
there are several that won't, but that's okay. Okay,
Back from there.
so good. I think,
This is new 18.
Okay, we're getting good. We're good.
18.
Sorry, I'm making.
Oh, don't, yeah, he'll figure it out.
18, we're at 19.
So, you're talking about your
No, no, no.
19?
The one I got printed.
We're on.
The one you have printed is
19.
19, it says,
Okay, it's cute people, we're past that, right?
was that part of the circuit breaker?
AARP.
Yeah, that's circuit breaker.
Circuit breaker.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now we're into deferrals.
I had note, somewhere on your page 19 or your page 20 has to be that note about the lien holder.
Right, I got that.
So I don't care where you put it, either one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to change on either of those pages.
Okay, is that okay? Okay.
We're up
So
to
on page
20,
21?
21,
Yeah.
and I didn't have anything to change there either.
I didn't have anything either.
And
Now we're in 22.
22, a little hard to read, but,
Hard to read.
The spreadsheet.
I get what you're doing though, and this is that.
yeah, I put no
That's-
marks on it because I thought, it's good, it's gonna, I don't know,
And this is the page that you're referring to
on that other slide.
earlier on.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is.
And that was just the
Yeah.
upper bar here.
Yep.
So
And I don't know how you make this any bigger and still fit it on the slide.
Right.
so
Not make it
I'm
fit.
good.
And I don't know how you make it any clearer. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
clear, it's
pretty
just you gotta
clear.
get really
It's
close.
just squinty vision.
Yeah. That's what the vision- I knew that. I
So,
have magnifiers.
your page 23, I had nothing.
Nothing. You can help. And I'm pointing him towards the
Your-
form with regard
Your
to,
page 24,
Um.
it should say select board,
Yep.
and they're not, Lou's not a select person now. So you can,
And
this is on page 24?
yeah. And
You're page 24?
you've got
Presented by
some
Lou
funky
Franco and developed
spacing.
in conjunction with Tom.
We'll
Long.
get
Tom's
that.
not going to be there.
There's some
and
funky.
select board.
Tom,
Yeah.
so Lou's doing the presentations, so,
Yes.
well, you can say that this was developed with Tom's help,
Yeah.
because he clearly helped.
And, Lou-
Um,
and
Where's your
developed in
spacing
conjunction with
problem?
Tom Alonso.
Can I? Something's. Article 21. You've got the fives.
That was Article 21 of the town meeting.
Yeah.
past town
Right.
meeting.
Right. But if you go to the bottom of the page, and I'm missing something here, but the qualifications show up on the left side, and there's the space each co-applicant, weird spacing, and then it's the exact same thing.
It's a duplicate.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's,
Good job.
that's what she said.
I'm like,
That's
what am
not-
I missing
You're
here?
not the first person to notice I've had a duplicate.
I'm just
here.
confused.
Oh, okay, did I missing one?
Yeah.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Applicant, how it works.
Yeah.
You must be missing something else that we don't
It might
see.
have been
Yeah.
this piece and I slide over. Okay, I
Well,
know what to do.
And you know
Oh,
the
yeah.
space at the co-applicant is what drew my eye to this. It's exactly the same.
there's bad spacing
Yeah.
each co-applicant.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your page 25, I had no changes to.
And I don't even.
I
I
gotta.
only left it in there because
It
of,
says-
I don't know what Lou
I
wants
didn't
to
even
do.
read it.
Pro-
That's
It's
the
okay.
law.
It's the law.
It's the
Yeah,
law.
it's the
So,
law.
so
It's gotta
he
be
just
reasonable.
cut and pasted it. I'm sure there's no problem with it. So the process to be resolved, and at that point you can say we are establishing a committee with the
Yeah.
whomever, and that way I think it's a great idea,
I'll-
and with a target to be done by end of March. Pick a number,
Well, I don't want people thinking that it's going to be.
a target.
Yeah. Well, it's not, as we pointed out to them. This isn't going to happen till next year. So we meet.
2026.
Yeah.
So just make sure you say coming in
I'm
2026.
sorry. We're,
Wait.
what
But
what
this is
fiscal year are we in
Coming
right now?
soon.
We're in 25 right now.
We're in 25, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
26
July 1.
starts in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So are we going to be ready for July?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
At least.
I don't know what I'm dealing with, and all I know.
So I think you need to target being ready for July.
Yeah.
That committee of you guys need to target being ready for July.
Okay.
And that means we need to be targeted before July, so we know what we're looking at.
Right.
Forms are designed, or we're gonna be using some other form. Okay, great, we'll just
Yeah. Now, are we
piggyback.
gonna be pulling this out of the overlay account?
I don't think anybody's told us where we should
Yeah.
take the money, and I'm not sure.
It's a big chunk of money.
I don't have the
I
answer to
think
that.
we need to check with town
Yeah.
council
Yeah.
Yeah.
about where we get the money. I think the money comes out of overlay, but I don't know
Yeah.
that, which means we might have to increase the overlay even more.
And I know that the budget's really tight, so. yeah,
But we,
that's-
we can make the
Yeah.
overlay what we need to make the overlay, and
And,
sorry.
and if we hit if we're legitimate and can get the deferral rolling, you're gonna pick up the 20 that you got now, and you're probably gonna pick up another 20 at 5,000 apiece, right?
What do you mean 20? What do you mean by
So I'm
20?
thinking other people who are not participating in the 41 program right now. Meaning that because the limits
We're
have
gonna
been
pick up,
raised so high.
we're gonna pick up more people.
Oh, for the 41, D you're talking about?
Yeah, 41A.
Oh, the
Not
deferral.
A, that's
A.
that's the deferral.
Yeah.
Deferral, that's the deferral. The deferral's gonna pick up.
No,
a
we're
lot.
not talking about that now. We're talking about the senior tax exemption. Did you,
Right,
did you
I-
go back to the deferral?
No, I asked the question, where is this gonna come from, the overlay? And I mentioned that this is gonna be a big number.
I can't do that right now. Let's just finish the presentation.
And the overlay,
So
Is
we
gonna
need
have to
to
reflect that.
increase the overlay. We'll talk about that at our next meeting,
Right.
about how big it needs to be, so we can defer the rest of this conversation about the
Right.
deferral and the overlay.
Then maybe
Please.
one of us should
Please.
contact town council.
don't look at me, my daughter is gonna give birth any day, I'm going down to New Jersey. And then as soon as I go to New Jersey and spend the few days I've gotta spend down there, I have to come back, and then Jane and I are heading down to Hilton Head for a month.
Life is tough.
And so the chances of meeting
Are you
with,
gonna be meeting with us
Yeah,
on
I'm-
Zoom?
yeah, oh yeah,
What happened there?
I don't know. One participant is just, everybody dropped off.
Yeah.
They couldn't hear us.
That's probably what
Oh,
it is.
good.
I'm sorry,
So-
everybody.
Hi,
Well,
me.
they've only been
Yeah.
on only been on for
Yeah.
2 hours now, that's probably why.
Oh, no, you think we're limited to 2 hours?
No, I'm just saying,
They're just like
after
done.
2 hours, they probably,
Wow,
Um,
okay.
So I
So
will attend
we're not
via
gonna talk,
Zoom.
we're not gonna talk about,
I'm not
are
gonna
you
get-
be on Zoom on the 5th?
I don't know for sure. One way or
Okay.
another, I will try to be. If I can be here for the 5th, I will try to be
If
here
you
for the 5th.
are on Zoom, we won't be able to do executive session with you. We'll have to do it separately. It's okay.
Huh?
We
I
can
know.
do it with just two,
I know, I know. I'll go home and feel
but
bad
I
all
didn't
night.
realize that your schedule was that tight. And I knew it was tight.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't sure you'd make it tonight, when the baby was coming.
We're crossing off things. Okay, what's happening now? How do you
So,
feeling now?
so,
Actually, I have you scheduled
In
for
person?
the 5th of
in person.
in person. Coming.
Okay, well, that'd be great.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a relief, I gotta tell you. And I know we argue all the time, but
That's okay.
this is really good. So, and this,
Yeah.
having said, we've gone through a whole bunch of crap and said, fix this, change that, do this.
Yeah.
This
This
is a
is great.
great job.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
want to be really clear. I
Thank
think
you.
this
looks
is
like
a
you put a
great
lot of
job.
work into it.
My wife is not happy.
And that's why he wants to get her on the first page, but don't put her on the first page.
She'll come out. She'll come
Because
out.
this
But I will introduce
presentation
myself,
is
and
good.
I'll leave. But I will introduce.
That's
somebody.
fine.
I can't.
So this is just the law.
Yeah.
You have process to be resolved, which is true, and mention that we have that team setting up together.
Right.
And then
I got
Caesar's gonna talk.
Caesar's doing that.
Then I only circled select board.
Select board.
Okay, that's what you got. I'll
Yeah.
take it if you. I'll take it. Sorry, thank you.
And then, I don't know if you're gonna have any questions. Oh, wait a minute, we got one more.
You got.
Select board. I circled
Oh,
it.
that's. I didn't type that up. That's a scan. It came out of there.
The title?
Select board,
The title?
Town of
This-
Lunenburg, Office of the Select Board.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
was
know.
right.
At the title
But
that you
the-
put in the top says select
The
person.
slide header.
I'm sorry.
Well, you were consistent throughout, actually.
And then you've got Q&A and end, which I'm sure doesn't
Yeah.
need to be 2 slides, but what the heck.
Yeah, I just.
Just in
for me.
case,
And
we're at
for
the
me,
end.
that's when- End is when I turn it off. I'll be flabbergasted and turning it off. Just turn
You're
it off.
exhausted.
So, I want to reiterate, this is a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the work. I'm glad we got through the knothole on the circuit breaker not being part of this so that we can make the discussion more focused.
Yeah.
There is one place
I'm gonna
where
have
we
to-
might have a dependency on the circuit breaker, and that is 41A. If they have the circuit breaker, we'll use it. If they don't have the circuit breaker,
Okay.
we
I
don't
will
care.
break that out. I'll break that out. I'll put some notes in there.
But
Here,
Right.
do you want to put my name on the top so I get mine back?
Yeah. Hey, you got your last one.
I did, thank you very much.
I don't need mine back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have plenty of paper in my life already.
Oh, God. I guess.
Okay,
Still
where
got a
are
lot
we?
more to go. Sorry.
No,
No,
well, we
it-
may not get through everything, and that's okay.
That was a priority.
Senior means tested exemption, that was actually the discussion about having a subgroup
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
on it, so
Okay.
that doesn't need to
We're
be.
good there.
Yeah.
We're done with the conference, so, neighborhood site index plan review. So,
Do we?
Sorry.
you go first, because I have,
I was gonna ask if we have any previous things, reports where we put out a bid. I could just format it for what we need
I was kind of thinking,
if we have a template.
maybe if Rena could help,
Yeah.
and Denise and I could
maybe
do
Yeah.
do it in-house.
the
What?
Do it in-house.
Do it in-house.
do it in-house, or
Yeah,
we would
that'd be
need the
great.
assistance of Rena.
Okay.
But I did speak with Vision. It's going to be an incredible amount of money if we hire an outside
Yep.
vendor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they will not go on the cyclicals and
And
look
do
at
that.
site indexes. So I
Well-
asked that question too, but they won't do
Well,
that.
if we can do it in house with Rena, that would be
Yeah,
So,
sweet.
it would. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could.
go ahead.
Why don't we just benchmark it? Let's go rip it off. meaning that what process do they use, the criteria they use to create the neighborhoods, right?
Who?
Oh, who? But the thing is,
Everybody else has done neighborhoods.
No, I don't know
But
if
we-
anybody else has a directive to revamp their neighborhoods.
But
We
we-
do.
we have neighborhoods that exist already, and so we have to actually go with what we have. We looked at what those neighborhoods criteria possibly could have been when they were developed.
So you develop some then.
Well, yeah.
Well, she had
Yeah.
a group
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
working together, but
Oh, yeah.
It's just if you're going to reclassify things like that, it has massive tax implications,
Implications,
obviously.
Yeah.
And so someone who has seen the properties
Mhm.
and has been on the ground looking at all of these places
Right.
and has that appraisal and assessor, they should be doing it. It really is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we could put together a proposal or not put together a proposal and just move forward and try to do it ourselves. I think maybe that was one of the reasons that Carter was reluctant earlier.
Yeah.
He thought now that we are fully staffed and we have some money to spend on some consultant work, then maybe we can just do it in-house. And it's gonna take us a little longer, but we could get done, I think.
Yeah.
And
And it doesn't have to be done now. It has to be done by the next time we're up, so.
And
my thoughts on it are that as that's being thought through, the criteria of like what constitutes this neighborhood needs to be written down somewhere.
Yes,
right.
It does.
Yes.
Like so that people can go back and go, oh yes, that's the characteristics that this belongs in this
Yep.
neighborhood,
Yeah.
because that is what is missing when you look at that.
right.
And I'm absolutely happy to take all those when they get reclassified and put them into a file so we can look at it again. And,
That would be good.
and go through it. It's easy for me to do if I have the layout. I mean, it takes me a couple of
Iteration.
sessions
Yeah.
and stuff, but like then we could look at it and see if anything stands out as
Right.
not quite right.
And you and Rena, I mean, you'd oversee Rena in terms of, well.
No, I wouldn't oversee Rena.
Just whatever
I'm a
she's
member of the
generating.
board.
Yeah.
And
I think we need to start with the lake. We need to do
Yeah.
the 500 lake properties
What
first.
did I tell you about that one?
And I'm just
Hang on a
concerned
second.
because I know
Yeah.
some of the lake
Yeah.
people want us to get started with it, so I'd like to do it,
Well-
make that kind of a priority.
and I do think we have the staff, especially it sounds like Rena's going to be on for.
Well, I'm trying to
Some.
do it for July, and
Mhm.
you have to kind of watch what we're
Yeah.
doing now.
Okay.
But the issue is, I mean, we're starting to get caught up, but it's just, like, stuff like the deeds, this is another thing.
But honestly, I would rather have
We
it
can get-
in house
We
because
should do it in-house.
we have the people who are actually going to visit our neighbors.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like these are our neighbors. We want it done right. We want it done by
Yeah.
people who know the community, who care about the community. And you know, the other stuff we've seen has just been people outside the community putting whatever they think
When-
will solve it for the
We
moment,
don't want
and then
that.
they leave.
When we
Yeah.
you know?
revisited the lakes with all those, it was a
It's
mess
just
and it was just people
exhausting and
throwing, okay,
frustrating.
this'll finish it.
Yeah.
This'll-
And we'll all be consistent because like Denise and I,
Yep,
when we did the abatements last year, we did
Yeah.
a couple that were on the lake. So we already have a sense of what we think it should be.
Yeah.
Everybody first should be waterfront, and then we have like everybody waterfront, and then we have another.
factors.
Factor.
We'll
Yeah.
include factors, and we'll
Yeah.
make a list of
Yeah.
what those factors are and what the
Yeah.
implications are. So
Yeah.
I don't wanna try to solve that right now.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the
Yeah.
so we're gonna
first
try
thing.
to do it in-house. Jack, you had something
Okay.
to say, and then I have something to say, so
Okay.
don't get away.
With regard to sensitivity and having lived in the lake community, I'm not gonna say live on the lake, but in the lake community.
Do you have
there-
lake property?
Pardon? Oh, I do. You're
Mhm.
right, that little piece up there, you're right. Yeah, I don't personally live on that little piece of
I
property.
didn't say you live on it, you have
Yeah,
lake
yeah,
property.
I do. So the sensitivity, there's a sensitivity. As soon as we said we're gonna start off in the lakes, people wanna know, what about the rest of town? Why are we getting picked on? Remember that whole debacle?
We're getting pressure from some people on lakes to take a look at it, so we're,
It is.
Yeah, oh, I
And
agree,
somebody
I
else is gonna
agree.
say, "Oh,
I'm
why are you
thinking
picking on me?"
We
I
need to
get-
have a plan that says, okay. if-
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's look at, we're gonna look at the whole
Excellent,
community.
excellent,
And then
excellent.
we're gonna migrate along. Everybody's gonna get looked at and taken care of before we hit the switch.
Yep,
Yeah. 'Cause-
And just assure them that this isn't just another.
yeah, I agree. Well,
There was some hard
Well,
feelings
I look
a
at
couple
the
years.
ones, the 1A, the 1B, and like
can't figure it out.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm just every time I look at it, I get upset
Yeah, I agree.
because you know the the 1B isn't large enough to be a neighborhood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? And then you look at 3, and there's absolutely no criteria for that.
Yeah.
Now you look at 4 and 5, and it looks like historically 20 years ago there was some criteria for it, but it doesn't make any sense now. And, you know, 3 seems to be if you live by a road. But
Any road.
Any road, you know? And then if you have, I think it's 5. 5 means you live along the highway, basically. And then 4 is some kind
Yeah,
of
it
old
doesn't-
cottage stuff. So, like, it is a mess. The challenge is because, you know, the lake thing happened, we all know. 1A, 1B got put in, and it's still, it's not
What does
good.
it mean?
No.
Yeah.
I
It's
couldn't
not
figure it out.
good.
It should have been set up.
And you
So we-
know, and I know, and everybody in this group and everybody who pays attention online knows that our neighborhoods are acting like our site indexes instead of having neighborhoods and site index modifying the neighborhoods in vision. So it's a big job.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
We all need to know that. I think the process is one that's going to take us a couple of years to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't pull the trigger until we are done.
Okay. that's that. Now I can come back to him and say, calm down. Nothing's happening. You get a chance.
We're not going to pull a trigger till
it's
we're
just
done,
to
and
be
we're,
done
we're
with the
happy
town, though.
that it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whoever's on the board at that time is happy with what the
Right.
result is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense if we're not
And
thrilled with
people
it.
don't need
Yeah.
to panic. We're just kind of just going
Right.
through what was done and
Right.
Right.
making
Yeah.
it
But yeah, the
make sense.
it's the hypersensitivity, and also they're sensitive to the fact that the lakes are running that town, and we're gonna get hit again because they're
No.
gonna come after us again.
No.
We just gotta get by that and just show them this is how.
Well,
it's-
I gotta say, I'm so happy to hear that we want to do this in house because if you look at
Yeah.
our neighborhood maps and you look at all the things, having it constantly outsourced has been really hard on our community.
Yeah.
Recognize that
Yeah.
all of our assessor duties were outsourced until
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's how we got here,
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
to be quite frank.
We didn't
Yeah.
understand how to handle
That's how we
outsourcing.
got here.
Yeah,
So
if
let's
you-
not
you-
outsource
if you
it.
do
Yeah.
I was
you
a
have plan.
proponent of outsourcing because I thought, well, that'd be a lot easier, but it's going to come up with garbage.
Yeah,
Well, the
So let's not
cost
do
is, the problem is
And
is
the cost could be
is so
prohibitive.
much more.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
And we're gonna have to go out and inspect
yeah.
Yep.
all these properties, so it is gonna take
Well,
us some time.
When you would end up having to inspect all the other work that somebody else
Yeah.
supposedly did, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, we can go on for this tangent for a long time.
So the next step is to approach Rena and say ask her if she's interested.
Well, I have to get, first, it's
We
gonna
don't
be
know
for
what the budget
26.
is
Yeah,
for
we don't know.
26.
We don't know. We have
Yeah.
We
to,
talked about the budget earlier. Nothing's
Yeah.
firm.
Now, when's
Yeah.
Carter's last day?
Next week.
I think next week.
We're gonna
Thursday.
have that much information.
I
to
think
be
it's
able to make
Thursday.
I
What?
don't-
Are we gonna have enough information?
He's got to make
we
a
can't
transition with the
answer
new town
town
administrator.
administrator.
You got to figure out.
We can't answer that question.
Yeah, I know. Well,
sure
we
he
still got
will.
3 years left, right?
I'm sure.
I don't
he
know how
will
long the
be very
administrator will
well
stay here.
prepared.
No,
The
3
town-
years with regard to DOR's requirement that we have neighborhoods.
Well, we need to be done, I think, a year ahead of time because we're going to
I
run into
think so.
problems.
If- and
We
if
should
we-
plan to be done a year ahead of time, and that way, when
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
slop over,
And
we'll
Rena
have time.
is an ace, because the DOR community
Rena's,
knows her.
Rena's not a spring chicken, so let's.
I know. So,
Sorry, Rena.
I think the last thing on our agenda
No,
here
no.
is
Well, there are.
assessor website.
policy.
So I sent over the assessor website. The reason
Yeah.
they're, and there's another thing we need to talk about that's not on the agenda.
Okay.
The assessor website. The reason I kept that on here for right now was because I sent over the copy of the old versus new
Yeah,
spreadsheet with a pivot table attached to
I
it.
saw it.
Linda
And then
Linda added
followed
in the land use codes, which land use codes, so that anybody who wants to interpret, they can go, okay, that one means this, that one means this. I didn't try to pull them all together,
Right.
which I could do, but I'm not going to do that because it's just way too much work. But I want to be able to post that out to the website. If everybody's happy with it, it's all the information for every parcel in the community, with both land use code and site index.
I think that's great.
Last year we didn't have site index on the one
No,
we had,
yeah.
and it disappeared. So Kara's trying to find it, so put it back up there.
I might have it saved somewhere. I'll look for
Well, I
it. Yeah.
think she's got it. I think it's just maybe a pointer got
Yeah,
erased
probably.
during we did a bunch of changes. So if everybody's okay with that
Yes.
document
Yeah.
as is, I'm going to have her post it up
I was
That would
really
be great.
excited to see that.
soon.
Thank you.
Soon.
I
And it's something
already got a
that we should
call.
ask for next year when
Yeah.
we do the reval, whatever we do for a reval, when we're I don't mean
I mean, interim,
when we do the
Yeah.
interim.
yeah.
I knew I couldn't get it. It's like it's
That made
there
and print it
someplace, but we need to get that report
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after that, move on. We'll put it out there on the website. It'll always be available to
Yeah.
people.
I think it's a good idea.
So that's why I wanted to talk about the website year
Thank
over
you.
year. Second thing I want to talk about that's not on the agenda exactly, and that is we talked about, because it is kind of, we talked about the, the senior means tested exemption. We were really
Yeah.
talking about all the exemptions. We were talking
Yeah.
about changing the qualifications for some of those exemptions, meaning the amounts of income and assets, etc.
Yeah.
So we got a note last week that all the warrant article first drafts needed to be in yesterday.
What are we gonna have to change now? What do we?
We were going to change because we picked up COLA.
Yeah.
We started off at a lower rate.
Oh,
we
okay,
we
the
had
COLA
not
pieces.
adopted the COLA over the years, although we'd been implementing it.
Yeah.
So when we implemented this last time, we went back to the original starting
Right,
points,
right.
and we needed to, I think, increase those qualifications
Do the multiplier.
to something that looks more like what the COLA would have resulted in had we adopted it back when.
Okay, it's ridiculous that needed to be in yesterday. Sorry.
So we all said, well, we can get something done by the middle of February.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an easy
and we
thing
got a
to-
note from Andy that all the stuff needed to be in yesterday. I don't know if we can get it or not.
Yeah.
It said anything that was budget related needed to be yesterday. And if it's not impacting the budget, well, it's gonna impact the amount that we put in the overlay, but
Overlay.
not by much. Because most of those people will already be qualified.
Yeah, they're already there.
We only lost 2 or 3 this year because of those qualifications. So I think I could make the case that it's not really budget related.
Yeah.
Having said that, we only have like 2 weeks to put together
A warrant article.
a warrant article for this. At least a placeholder for it. So I was thinking I'll try to throw something together for our
Yeah.
next meeting.
Okay.
I think just getting
really under the
throwing
gun.
something general in there, it's gonna be a placeholder, and you can make
And we can,
modifications to
well,
that.
and we'll have to pass it by town council and get the wording right and
Yeah.
all that junk. We'll have to figure out what the amounts would have been had we
Yeah.
adopted COLA way back when COLA
Right.
was introduced.
At least it's like one article.
Just-
At least what?
One article.
It's one article. So I wanted to make sure and talk about that, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
yes,
sort of
there's
up
gotta be-
against it, but
I'm really surprised that
our,
it was
our
due.
process just got sped up to.
Yeah.
We needed it yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I guess because maybe it has financial implications. That's, but
It's only going to change
traditionally
the
it's
amount.
been,
It's only going to change the amount of
it's
the
been
overlay.
you submit by
Not by
March.
much.
You know, unless it's
Nah, it
a,
won't be that much.
that's new.
Oh, actually, that was
That's-
the postponed
that's new.
topic. That's what it was.
That's new. That's
This-
a new thing.
Last year, Heather didn't really tell us when we were due, and all of a
No,
sudden it
but-
was due.
Articles have been put on and submitted and like.
Well, as Carter
March.
told us before, articles you can put articles on anytime.
Yeah.
Well, that's not exactly true, but go ahead.
You can put it in queue.
I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's budget related because you're trying to balance the budget.
Yep.
But
But this is.
I'm kind of shocked.
I think we can make
because
the
I think
case
that's
it's
really
not budget
early.
related.
Yeah.
We can make the case it's not budget related. So.
That-
That's an
I don't know.
interesting model
I've watched for a while and I see a lot of articles show up in March.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
and maybe this is just trying a new way to do the budget this year or something.
It's gonna be neat.
So
Anyway,
the-
we can get it done.
So that was actually under postponed topics. I didn't. It was not a new
Okay.
topic. It was under postponed.
Well, because we thought we had more time.
Anybody else want to talk about policies or anything else? it's okay if we don't tonight, but
I think that's okay.
No, I think
Okay.
we still have some other stuff to sign.
we will, when we adjourn here, we'll go back over and resume our executive session.
Yeah.
We can
Oh,
either
that's
do it
right.
in the office or just dismiss Matt and do it here.
We're walking over that way anyway. Is the door open?
Can we get in?
Yeah, I have the key.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a compounded interest with a shift around it yearly, okay. Well, I'm talking about the, coming up with a new,
Oh, the
the
new
COLA
COLA.
number.
Okay.
Well, we already had posted some stuff in 2022.
Yeah.
2022?
And we could do 1 year's worth of what that would have been and then, and add it and just go from there, I think, because I think that was the last one we had posted that had the COLA numbers in it.
Well, that's easy then.
2022 or 2023. We have them around
I
someplace.
thought they hadn't
So are
been
you looking for a
modified
motion
in
to
a whole
adjourn?
pile of years.
No.
And
We
even-
were updating them on a regular basis,
Were we?
even though we hadn't accepted the
Well,
clause.
we don't know what was being done, that's the problem.
Well, that's.
didn't find
very-
any
that's-
documentation.
So my
Documentation.
suggestion would be just go back to whatever we had last.
So do we need to motion
Or
to adjourn and read
raise it up,
something to go into executive
and then-
session?
Yeah,
We don't, we just suspended our executive session, so we're just gonna
Okay.
start it again later.
So,
yeah.
motion to adjourn.
This meeting, yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Right.
Linda wants to go too.
Yeah. I would think about going back to when they first started this thing.